We are live, literally, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, I'm impressed, seeing as we didn't put a YouTube video out today, due to reasons we will discuss in this stream. Cal, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, man. How about you?
I've had an interesting couple of days, and I look forward to discussing those days over the next 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got an interesting story as well about Saturday.
I mean, that's a good start to a podcast. We've got two interesting stories. If only we can stretch them to 2 hours, I feel we're going to be good. I feel it's going to be good.
Oh, hang on. They apparently can't hear you.
They can't hear me. That's illegal.
Let me... I'll tell you why. So I got a new mixer amp. I got the Go XLR because everyone has been singing its praises.
Check you out with your equipment. Okay.
I tell you what, it's so good.
All right.
I've got you on a slider, which isn't hooked up to the thing apparently. But
I should always be on sliders. If there's anytime I'm involved, if I'm not on a slider, I'm going to walk. I'm just going to quit from wherever I am.
Oh, that's annoying. Where are we?
That's fine. For everyone else, we'll chat. Cal's just dealing with some audio. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the Tangent Tavern. It's Monday evening. It's 7 o'clock. Grab a drink. Pull up a bar stool. Chill out. Let us talk about gaming and other various related tangents. I've just realised my PlayStation 2 in the background is on the side. It's gonna bug me for the whole stream. I'm not going to change it, but I am going to complain. Everyone who is joining us in the Twitch stream tonight, feel free to say hi. You get your name on the screen and stuff like that. Ristray, good evening to you. And El Gull. Cal, how's the...
Not looking good.
Is it not going well?
It's not going well.
It's okay. This is just complaining, British pastime. It is. If I fix it, I've got nothing to complain about. If I don't fix it, then I can... Whenever there's a lull in conversation, I can just go, oh, gosh darn... PlayStation 2. Notice how I said gosh darn there, like covering up all of the otherwise bad words that Twitch would send the Twitch police around for. I'm trying to really...
So I'm aware we can't hear Josh, just trying to sort it. I mean, I can hear Josh perfectly, but
yep.
That's not very helpful for you.
Am I part of your desktop audio playing through a different speaker?
You are part of my desktop audio now, but my desktop audio was set up differently.
I see, yes. Wrist is that a protein shake? Yes, it is. I'm trying to, I don't know if I'm succeeding. I'm trying to quietly shake a protein shake. But of course, through trying to be quiet, it's not actually mixing it. It's just a very lumpy protein shake. I've got to kind of hold it away from the mic.
Let me test something, because this was working the other day, so...
Which flavour is it? I think I'm going with salted caramel and chocolate. So, ladies and gents, if you are listening to the podcast on Callum's Twitch stream, you are playing on hard mode. You're effectively playing difficult mode. This is like New Game Plus. We're hearing the shaking quite well, I see. I will definitely leave it there and just drink the lumpy protein shake later. Yeah, Callum's viewers are playing on hard mode right now because they only get Cal's audio. So for them, there is a long period of silence as long as I keep talking.
Yeah, you just... Right, chat. Why is that not? Right, let me try something because I don't know if this is going to work.
You try. We've got 2 hours. You try.
Time to kill.
Whatever you need to try, and we will make this work. I can hear you fine. So on my Twitch VOD,
you're working now.
Beautiful.
But it's a weird one. Okay, so we've got you instead of desktop sound, so it's all good. We don't need desktop sounds.
That's fine. I've got the tavern ambience playing. It's all good to me. If you're on my stream, can you guys hear the tavern ambience in the background? Little thing we've added for you. Little sexy touch.
Yeah, there we go. We're all good.
Fantastic. Why are we not being the world's okayest necro today? Cal, every Monday, every single Monday without fail. I mean, well, for the last 3 Mondays anyway. Myself and the gorgeous Callum Upton.
Hello.
There we go. I was waiting for the hello there.
Okay, yeah.
We chat and we do a podcast, and the podcast is called The Tangent Tavern, and it's about gaming, but it goes off on tangents. It starts about gaming. It doesn't end. I mean, last stream we covered Gandhi, and then crypto and IKEA, and I hear tell you have a very good story for the last Saturday. Why don't you tell us your good story, Callum?
So, right, it's not a good story. It's a bad story. So, I got my drink spiked while I was out.
Wow, that's heavier than I
Yeah.
thought we would start. I mean,
Yeah.
normally you'd start with a little bit of a humorous anecdote, or...
Well, it was pretty funny, if I'm being honest.
I mean, if it has a good ending, it's funny, but I mean, like, if you watch a film and the film starts with the main character gets their drink spiked, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
this isn't going to be a very good... I mean, it'll be a good film, but it won't be a good film, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I mean, it was just an interesting night. Met lots of lovely people, just chatting on the ward. It was great.
Chatting on the ward.
Yeah, I had to go to hospital, like, properly spiked. Yeah.
Before the
that
next
was
podcast, we're going to have a discussion about the kind of stories that we start the podcasts with.
Starting off strong.
I think starting off with, oh, hey, I got my drink spiked and I ended up in hospital, that's a 1 hour in story.
Yeah, okay, well...
5 minutes in, I want the, like, I saw a bunny and it, hop across the road and it was fine
Right.
story. But no, carry on. We're intrigued now. Everyone's intrigued. Carry on. Tell me...
So me and two friends had gone out and we'd met up with two girls that we went to school with. And we'd said that we were leaving this club that we were at. And obviously someone had overheard. And they thought that we weren't going back with these two girls because we'd met separately there. Now, they'd apparently tried to spike one of their drinks. But because I brought all the drinks over together and no drink was really anybody's at that point, they'd apparently just spiked one of the drinks and it happened to be mine.
So
yeah.
So some creepy, awful human beings saw you with some attractive girls at the club and they thought, hey, we're going to do some creepy, illegal, underhanded stuff. We're going to put some spikes in the drinks. And then they looked over and they were like, guys, we made a mistake here.
Should we go for him anyway?
We haven't got one of the attractive girls. We've got a dev of Nightmare World instead.
Yeah. Which is actually more valuable.
I know. They didn't know what they had.
Yeah.
If they'd have, if they'd have been smart,
had the golden goose and they left it.
Yeah, they could have just dragged you to the side and said, "Look, we want to be raid bosses," and you'd have agreed to it because at that point you were out of it.
I would have agreed to it. Yeah.
Okay. So you discovered that your drink was spiked, which is not a good situation for anyone to be in. Hold your hand over your drinks, by the way, guys. If you're out in pub, hold your hand over your drinks. Just do it. Or your thumb
that's where
over
we went wrong. We were playing. It was a pool bar. So we got the drinks on. There's little tables behind each of the pool tables for your drinks. Now we hadn't seen anyone go past, so we knew they were behind us, the drinks, and we were keeping an eye on them. We hadn't spotted anyone doing anything dodgy, but apparently we missed it.
Exactly. No, they're good. They're good. They're like illegal bad ninjas. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible truth as well that is so ridiculously popular in clubs. It's a horrible
I tell you
thing.
what, it was fortunate in a way because those two girls were walking home alone.
Yeah. So it's always stick with a group of people in a club.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a group of guys and a group of girls, stay together. Don't go off on your own at night. Dodgy stories about that all the time.
Yeah.
So you discovered you'd been spiked.
You always think it's not you. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So that was pretty much it. If I'm honest with you, I don't remember much of the night after that. But yeah, I realised my drink had been spiked. Friend called an ambulance because I think he'd also realised that it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And, Because the fortunate thing is I hadn't had much to drink that night.
So the fact that it was a tiny little bit, and you thought, right, I'm feeling a little bit, I'm beyond where I should be.
Two bottles of Budweiser, that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So something's wrong when you're feeling a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that was about it. Went to hospital, had a lovely time, had the worst Tetley tea that I think I've ever been made. Yeah. There's not much to that story. That was it.
It's a great story, Cal. Thank you for.
So
I think
stretch this out over 2 hours now.
Yes. Now tell me to stretch this over 2 hours.
The ambulance ride.
Tell me, recreate the pool game that you guys. Tell me exactly. Yeah. I mean, were you spots or stripes in the pool game?
I think I was stripes actually.
That makes the story more full.
Yeah, I'm awful at pool. By the way, I'm just absolutely. Terrible.
You know what I love about pool? Pool is the game that you can be really crap at, but look really sexy while playing.
Yeah. You just need to make sure nobody watches you take shots.
Yeah, because like 95% of pool... I mean, snooker's different, because people that play snooker remember the rules. 95% of playing pool isn't actually doing anything pool-related. It's just standing there with a stick, looking kind of cool next to a big green felt table.
We were doing tag team as well, so it was even more, it was more interesting in the sense that I was getting yelled at by my partner.
Oh yeah, that's fine as well. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pool is the easiest sport to look cool at when you can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You can stand there and lean on the cue.
You
can lean up the table and go,
Yeah. Yeah.
and look like you know what you're doing.
And then what you do is you hold the cue toward the white ball, and then toward the ball you want to hit at like an angle, and then you move it to aim at the edge of the table, the cushion on the edge, and then you do some maths in your head, and you realise, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I get basic angles. Yeah, I understand the basics of angles, but like you adjust by like a millimetre. Yeah, it's like when you're playing a pool game online. You know how you would adjust a tiny bit and you would see that line showing where the ball's going to go?
Yeah, it moves more than you think it does.
It does, and you try and do that in your own head, and it never works.
No. But when you do get one on the off chance, you're the man.
And then you pretend that you wanted to do it. And sometimes you hit the ball with the cue on the bottom of the ball to give it a bit of back spin, and it spins backwards, and you're like, I meant to do that, even though you didn't mean to do it.
Exactly. Chatter asking, did we catch the spiker? No, we didn't, because, and here's the ridiculous thing. So we went to the hospital, and I said, I was like, is there any way to find out what it is that I've been spiked with? And they were like, oh, we'd have to get a toxicologist report, which involves getting the police, which they said could possibly be 4 to 6 hours, and it might be out your system by then. And I'm like, so thank you for that utterly useless information.
Yeah, no, it's awful. The fact that these kind of drugs exist, and it's such a prevalent thing, especially in university or college towns where kids are going out for their first nights out. I mean, obviously that's not you guys, but when you have big towns, when it is first night out with your mates, university, first year, your guard's down. Your guard is down, man. It is.
I'd say that's the case now anyway, just because everything's opening up after COVID. There's 18 and 20-year-olds that haven't actually been out on a night out because of COVID.
I was speaking to a couple of friends of mine, and like when I went to uni when I was like 21, 22. I was the old guy in uni. I went a couple of years after, had some manual labour for a bit. But when I was going out, you can go out every night of the week, whenever the hell you wanted to, and it was a crazy wild party for like 3 years. And now people are saying, it's awful. If you've just started university, or if you're in college, or if you're just at that kind of like 21, 22 age where you want to go out right now, I really feel bad for you, genuinely.
Yeah, it's not a good time, is it?
Yeah, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But I'm sorry to hear that happen to you, Cal. That doesn't sound like a fun night.
It's all good. It could have been much worse, couldn't it?
Yes, it could have been worse. Thankfully, best case scenario in a bad situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So what's your story then? Or is that one to keep for later?
We've had the loft boarded. It's not as... I'm sorry. I can't... I mean, you were going out crazy, playing pool, looking sexy, getting your drinks spiked, going to hospital. I've been staying in all day while someone puts some wooden boards down on the loft floor so I can put boxes on it and have more storage space in the house.
Okay.
However, while doing this, I discovered something that I both simultaneously love and hate. Don't get me wrong, guys, if you're here to talk about MMOs, we'll talk about Runescape, and we'll talk about Guild Wars later. We'll get there. We've got time. I discovered something on YouTube that I both love and hate. Have you watched... They've become really popular in the last 2 months. Movie recap channels.
Yeah. I've seen a few videos, and I don't know what I think about it.
Right. I'm obsessed. I'm not going to lie. I've watched like 10 films today. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, for anyone in the chat who's unsure, over the last two months, there's been a rise in a very specific genre of YouTube channel called movie recaps. Sometimes there's movie recap, screen recapped, recap detective, all that stuff. They take a movie, then they put the plot through a text-to-speech translator, and then they cut the film down into a 15-minute recap. They don't review the film, they just play the whole film and talk over it for 15 minutes. But it summarises the entire thing. So, you got 15 minutes, you want to watch Interstellar, you don't want to sit down and watch Interstellar, cool, you bang on the movie recap, you watch the whole thing. They're really addictive.
You know what? That's not a bad idea now that I'm thinking about it. I've watched it, I watched like 1 or 2 videos a while back. Because these have been, like someone says in my chat, since like 2014, these have been popular. Now, I know that they've taken off more recently, and I'm trying to think what I watched I watched it with a friend for The Room.
Oh,
Because
do you mean
he
the
was like,
original
"I'm
room
not
or the
watching it."
redone room? Because the redone room was the one where it gives you whatever you wish for when you're in that old house, and the original room was Tommy Wiseau with the terrible, terrible film.
Yeah, I'm on about the Tommy one.
Oh, the awful film, yeah.
Yeah, you know, oh hi Mark.
Oh, gotcha.
in
Yeah, yeah,
worst
the
tone
terrible
ever.
film.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I watched it for that with a friend, and I didn't get the point of it. But I guess if I've seen the film, the recap doesn't really.
No, the recap honestly
any
is just
purpose to me.
it's to put on in the background. So if I'm playing RuneScape and I'm mining for a bit, and because what I've done is these recap channels, they're definitely illegal because they're not even reviewing the film. They're literally just explaining what happens in the film, and I'm pretty sure it's one dude that runs all of them. Because they've all got similar names, they've all got similar icons, they've all got similar thumbnails, and all got similar titles, but they just go through the whole film. And it's weird sci-fi, you know, strange films, French, Russian, or whatever. But
Yeah.
I've been so addicted to them. And they started about 2 months ago. And one of them had 400,000 subscribers last week, and now it's on 600,000 subscribers. They are gaining millions and millions and millions of views in a week, and I think they're monetized.
Really?
Yeah, I think the guy is
That's
making
a blurred
absolute
line,
bank.
isn't it? Because they could argue it's transformative. Mm-hmm. But it's not really.
No, it's not. It's just
It's not at
completely
all.
derivative of it. They are making bank off doing this. I'll send you some later on, but it's
Yeah.
So all of the titles, none of the titles whatsoever have the name of the film in them. So the title of the film will be something like "He has to date her to prevent his alter ego killing her,"
Oh God! Do you know what?
and the film will be Fight Club.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook is the worst for this.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you say this, I've seen lots of 10-minute videos on Facebook.
Yep.
And it's just like I saw one the other day, and it's only these two people can lift the hammer, and it's just Thor.
Yeah.
It's Ragnarok, and
Yep.
I'm just like,
Yep, and it's basically the entire film cut up into really small, quick cuts,
Yeah.
and it just explains the whole film from the very start to the very end.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. But
And the thing is, no one's going to find them if they're looking to take these down. Also,
Exactly.
chat says, "Can you show off your dog?"
yeah, this is Piper. By the way, I've got two dogs. One of them is a little Dachshund. There's one just here. This is Piper. Piper has a thing about licking my face. So whenever she is around, she will always lick my face. This is her way of cleaning me. This is how I do the thing with the hair. So yeah, these films, they're going to get monetized, and they are going to get absolutely demolished and destroyed as soon as copyright claims come round. But by then they'll have started a new channel. They'll start a new channel, something else. And I watched a 15-minute review of Aeon Flux. I'd never seen the film Aeon Flux, and I thought, I don't know if I want to watch it, but I'll happily watch a 15-minute recap of the entire thing. Looks all right. And they didn't call it Aeon Flux in the title. They called it like A10N Flux. So I knew what it said, but bots wouldn't be able to search for the word Aeon and find it.
Right.
So they are
Clever.
Yeah, it really is. It's super clever. And I hate it because of how effective it is. So many people are watching these videos, so many views, so much money, but at the same time, I'm one of the people watching them.
Yeah. And do you know what else is along the lines of this? Song reviews. I found a channel about a month ago where new songs that come out, like rap songs and whatever, they'll sit there and they'll do a review of it.
Okay.
It is void of any content. Because they sit and listen through the entire song.
Yep.
But then they'll cut the track to jump a few seconds every couple of seconds so that it doesn't get detected.
Yep.
And then it's just, I don't know, I don't get it. It's void of content and they are monetized.
Wasn't there a thing with this a couple of years ago? There was a big YouTube spat or a bit of an argument where review channels were just starting, get started at that time. And some YouTubers said, you didn't even add anything to my video. You had you in a webcam in the corner watching my video and my video playing all the way through. And the person responded saying, yeah, it was a silent review. That was his actual words. It was a silent review.
And that's when they started with the reaction videos, because they could get away with silent reviews because they're reactions.
Exactly. So if I just play someone's video in its entirety on my channel, but I'm in the corner doing this.
Yeah.
Anyone listening to the podcast,
you can tell what
I'm making faces. Yeah. Yeah. It was there.
This isn't going to translate well for podcast,
anyone in the podcast is thinking, what is he doing?
I need
What's
to know.
he doing? I'm making the thumbnail face. You all know. I'm making the same face that every single Clash of Clans style mobile game has in their icon.
I hate that.
The mobile face.
Yeah, I hate.
It's always a face, and it's always got teeth, and it's always yelling into a direction normally, like that. It's always the thing. Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, anyone in the chat thinking, "Oh, it's strange. We've seen those." It's actually a thing. If you put that in your thumbnail, more people will download it and click it. It's just guaranteed. Or it's a hot babe. It is as we've just put in the chat. It's a hot babe. Have you seen that stupid Raid advert where it's one of the characters, a female model, walking away? And it's just butt wiggle the entire time.
Yeah, it's just arse cheeks slapping as she walks off. I've seen it.
It is.
And someone's just asked in chat on that note, did I get a reply from Raid Shadow Legends? I actually did.
No way. Your email that you sent them. Can you read your email out?
Yeah.
Right, get the email. I'll just fill people in on this. So every single YouTube streamer gets contacted by Raid Shadow Legends. It's a rite of passage. And Cal, you got your email recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I got an email recently and I ignored it, and then a week later I got another email where they offered me less to do the same thing, and then the week after they offered me even less to do the same thing.
So they're going down in their offer. Like you're not saying yes, and they're saying, hey, maybe he wants less money.
They're haggling backwards. Yeah. Let me just get my email to load because for some reason it's actually loading. I've never seen Gmail do that. But
Safety Hazard has just said shocked faces, red arrows, and a hot woman on the thumbnail. You know when we put the thumbnail up for this podcast, she would just put a big red arrow and a red circle on it somewhere. Not even pointing to anything relevant.
Like just pointing at my fan in the background or something.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, okay, just a massive, huge red arrow on something. We do want to customise the thumbnails to every podcast. Don't forget mandatory cleavage. I mean, if I lean forward and do the thing where you put your elbows together, I could probably get something going on like that. Yeah,
you could do it. Yeah, I think we could. Right, here we go. I put greetings. I am very interested in your sponsorship offer. However, to accept such a fantastic game as my sponsor for my next stream, I will require a new gaming chair. The more RGB, the better. A handbag full of garlic bread. The greasier, the better. Must be piping hot on arrival. A life-size cardboard cutout of Josh Strife Hayes. Mine never arrived. A fish shovel, crafted using exactly 12 fish. Bridget Jones underwear. And at least one Class 1 tile on Earth 2, not in Gibraltar. And one of those weird ASMR mics that has 2 ears. They're pretty dope. Feel free to send me your counteroffer in a timely manner. Your loving, doting Raid fan, Callum.
I mean, we all want one of the... I like how you just said one of the ASMR mics with ears, and everyone went, yeah, I know what you mean. I get that. Like, they might have a name. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they did respond eventually.
So Raid...
It wasn't interesting, though.
What? Raid responded to your email, and they weren't funny?
Yeah, who'd have guessed?
What was their response to your email?
Where is it?
Was it just, I'm sorry, we've ran out of those emails, ear mics recently?
No, I'm trying to find... Okay. Hi, Callum. I understand. Thanks for getting back to me and for the humorous response. That very awkward smiley face that says, I feel like you need a response from me in smiley form, but I'm not going to give you the full smile.
Oh, God. Is it an upside-down smiley face? Is it actually one of those?
I think in HTML, not in HTML, I think on mobile it would translate to that.
Oh, God, I remember
seeing it. I remember seeing it on my phone, and I was like, oh. Yeah. Wishing you a good rest of your day. That was it.
I mean, not rest of your week. They didn't. You don't deserve that. Raid will wish you a good day and nothing else. They hope mediocrity on the rest of you.
Unfortunately, yeah. So
that's a shame.
Wasn't much.
That's a real shame.
I was expecting a good response. Like they didn't give back the effort I put in.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done something. I mean, I've just started saying, yeah, I want £50,000 paid before I do the advert, and then I want an extra £10,000 bonus if the video hits 10 views.
Someone pointed this out as well. My counter offer was actually worth less than what they offered the last time, so they should have taken that offer.
Yeah, had they have actually gone through and provided you all the materials you asked for, it would have taken effort, but actually financially they would have been better off.
They'd have got like a half-price promotion off me.
Yeah, they'd have been.
They would have had to have sourced garlic bread that would have arrived in a timely manner, though. Which I think is probably the hardest of all.
Yeah, I mean, Uber Eats exists, but you're going to have some poor intern somewhere working out where you live and then working out how they can send you DoorDash or Just Eat or something.
Yeah. It's just not worth it.
It's not worth it.
I struggled with the Josh Strife Hayes cardboard cutout, so they've probably looked to source one and they just came up blank.
I'm going to have to start selling them, aren't I? That's going to have to be my first piece. My first and only piece of merchandise will just be a life-size cardboard cutout of me.
Yeah, someone actually asked for joint merch from us, and I'll tell you what they said that we should do. We should do a t-shirt or hoodie that's just made up of, like, you know, the grayscale text, but it's all the worst quotes we've made in videos and streams. Like, someone's example was, what was it? Swords just flopping around like a flaccid penis.
Yeah,
and other quotes like that. I could see it happening.
Yeah,
we could fill a shirt.
Last stream I said the sun is pretty toasty. I didn't remember exactly how hot the sun was, so I just thought pretty toasty is probably a pretty accurate descriptor.
You're not wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. You can't prove me wrong on that. Yeah, my only merchandise, like most people do, you know, t-shirts or mugs or mouse mats. No, just a full-on, life-size cardboard cutout. I'd sign it. I'd sign every one of them. I'd have an entire room full of them.
You could do it.
But no, to get you a little bit jealous, I got contacted by KFC Gaming. Yes, the KFC that does chicken.
The KFC that made the KFC console that had a chicken drawer in it.
Yep. It's a real thing.
Right.
It's not a meme. It's a genuine real thing. All right?
Are they asking you to help sell their console?
No, they want to send me a shirt. That's it.
Oh.
They don't want to sponsor me. They don't want to be put in a video. They were just like, hey, Josh, we're an agency representing KFC Gaming. Can we send you a t-shirt? And I said, do you have a mug? And they went, yeah. And just sent me a load of pictures of KFC mugs back. So it's a mug that looks like a KFC bucket of chicken with chicken sticking out the top of it. And I thought, all right,
pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll go for that. I'm not sponsored.
One for the collection.
Yeah, not taking sponsorships from them. They literally just said, can we send you some stuff? For anyone in the chat who's not aware, Cal, do you want to explain the KFC console?
Oh boy. So they decided to try and launch a console, which it's actually pretty clever. Like, I have to give them props. What they did was they basically made what was it on the tier? If it wasn't at Xbox level of like hardware, was it?
No, it
had a GPU in it.
It was good. It was like a PC. It was like a mid-range PC.
Yeah, that was it. It was basically a PC as a console. Now,
I wonder if Soldier Boy
they generate
owns
a
it.
lot of heat, don't they?
They do.
Like,
They really do.
A lot of heat. So these absolute chads over at KFC thought, what can we do with heat? You know, we run a chicken company. So they added a drawer instead of an exhaust. Like, there was where the exhaust fan would have been, they put a drawer that you could put your chicken, like, drumsticks in.
It's not even a joke. You can genuinely put
No joke.
it's a chicken warmer in a computer that's like a mid-range PC. And the danger, of course, is you put your chicken drumstick in there, then you go on holiday for a week and forget about it. Then you come back and you open your chicken drawer. I mean, whose PC doesn't have a chicken drawer? And then, it's gone on mouldy and manky. But it's actually not a bad PC.
Yeah,
Spec-wise, it's not awful.
Doesn't cool the console, though, does it?
It's not meant
Someone actually tested this out.
Okay.
Someone got their hands on a prototype that was sent around.
Okay.
And it was actually very, like, thermally performant.
Right, we're going to have to do physics here, aren't we? Because is it physics or chemistry we're thinking about? Because heat has to go somewhere.
Yes.
Heat has to dissipate from somewhere to somewhere else. So if the PC is hot, and then you put something in it that's not hot, such as a lukewarm piece of chicken, and the heat goes into that chicken, the heat isn't in the computer. Even though the chicken. Yeah, the chicken's in the drawer, but someone who really paid attention in like high school physics is going to have to explain.
So's your heat sink in your computer.
Exactly. So all they've done is they've replaced a heat sink with chicken.
And this works really well because if you're constantly, like, if you've put your chicken in there because you want to eat it, right?
Yeah.
So you keep opening the drawer to take your chicken out, which if you've taken a drumstick out, you've taken heat out of the console, and you've also vented it.
What they've done is they've basically taken the idea of a water cooling system, but they've replaced water with edible food. In this case, chicken.
Yeah.
Like if I could have a water, I've got a water cooling system in my PC. If it actually got to boiling, I would find some way to add a little tap, have a little mug, a little tea bag.
Tea bag, yeah.
And I would make cups of tea from hot PC cooled water.
Someone says poultry cooling system.
Poultry cooling system, that's what it is. Yeah.
I like that, yeah.
We would definitely do this. So, I got an email.
They accidentally made something that was thermally performant.
Oh, God, yeah. Can you imagine that?
They even admitted, they were like, we didn't intend for it to be good.
No, it was a joke. It was a meme. Yeah. And it turns out People wanted that.
It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of games it run? It's a PC, so pretty much any
Anything.
PC game. It's
and I
it's
believe it was an AMD graphics card that they'd got in it, and it wasn't a bad one. It was, you know, when the mining craze really took off, and all of these specific Radeon cards were just void of, you know, they were nowhere. You couldn't find them anywhere. It was the one just below that they used in it. So it was a good card as well. Like, it produced a lot of heat.
Can we just imagine that if a load of cryptocurrency miners were to buy the KFC console, how good would it smell to walk into a mining operation? Just rows of KFC consoles. And you're like, hey, where's the popcorn chicken? Oh, it's over on the first row. Where's the boneless chicken? It's over on the third row. Here's all the fries.
And there's another genius point to that. You could actually call it a mining farm now.
KFC have missed a trick here. They
really
have missed a trick. Just get into it, yeah. No, they should just absolutely get back into this. So yeah, I got an email from because for anyone who's unsure, companies often don't contact influencers directly. Companies contact marketing firms, and marketing firms contact us. And when a company has a campaign or a promotion on, normally you'll get 30 to 35 marketing firms that know about it. So then we will get multiple emails from multiple marketing firms about the same campaign offering us different prices.
And Raid do that.
Yeah.
That's the comical bit about it.
Yeah.
Raid will give you 5 offers on the same day, because they've started campaigns with different marketing firms, and you'll get 5 offers for the same campaign at different prices, but they've all come from Raid.
Yeah. So, you know, marketing company A will say, hey, we're working with Raid, we want to pay you X amount of money for an advert. Marketing company B will say, hey, we're working with Raid, we want to pay you X more amount of money for the same advert, and you just find the one that's got the biggest amount of money. I did say influencer, and I apologise profusely for that. Unfortunately, it is.
You've triggered gag reflexes.
I have. It's the worst one. It's the word that's most effective. So yeah, you've got all these marketing companies approaching you with the same campaign. But that was the first time I was approached for a KFC campaign. And I was pretty impressed with that. Yeah, I was.
And as someone's rightly pointed out, how are we taking the piss out of Soldier Boy when KFC are also making consoles?
Yeah, it's true, but KFC, at least, they've made their own console, and they're bringing chicken. If you order the KFC console, I would expect it to come with a family bucket.
It would have to, really.
Yeah. I mean, there's a KFC relatively close to the town that I'm in. So I might just contact them and say, hey, look, if you want to send me a t-shirt and a mug, that's cool. But if you really want to get a shout out, if you could send me some kind of code that I could... can you imagine?
One across the road from me.
Can you imagine
I might try my luck as well.
Walking into your local KFC and being like, hey, I'm the internet guy. Do you know who I am? Give me the free KFC.
I'd like the finest of your consoles, please.
If you walk in with the console, is it like a free refill? Do they have to just fill the tray up with chicken from the shop?
I mean, would it be worth it? Like, you'd be preheating a tray pretty much at home. You know, you'd put New World on, you'd heat your GPU up to like boiling temperatures. What you do, you're like, Mum, get the car started, unplug it, run to the car while it's still warm.
Yeah. That'd be great. That'd be great. Sado, thank you very much for the donation. For all the Scots in the chat, freedom. Love you two lads. Invite Kira on the show. Kira TV is the top of the list for guests. Yeah. Right. It's basically us just... we're going to ask him, work around his schedule. He's the top. I think Kira would have some input on the KFC console. I assume he's probably got a humorous story about it.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Yeah.
Kira seems to have weird stories about just about everything, doesn't he?
The guy's had a fascinating life. And Lazy Peon. Till, again, Lazy Peon, absolutely. The only difficulty with getting these major stars on the show is they are incredibly busy people. They are in demand. So we would need to find their free time. In fact, one thing I wanted to talk about, I sent you a lot of notes before we started recording of things I wanted to talk about. One of the things I think is important is, have you seen the Spiffing Brits latest video?
I have. I hadn't seen it until you messaged me the notes about this, and I had a quick look, and you know what? Good on him.
Yeah.
Because he's worked his ass off.
Yeah. Do you want to fill in for the people at home?
So, Spiff put out a video, I think it was earlier today or last night, and it's just a 6-minute video titled BRB.
Yeah.
And basically, he's decided to take a break because of just burnout, family reasons as well, and I think that's something important that a lot of people forget with especially with gaming YouTubers or gaming streamers, that it is a dream job.
Yeah.
But it's still a job, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you really do need to keep yourself on schedule.
Yeah.
And when you're your own boss, it's a lot harder sometimes. It's easier in other senses, but overall it's hard.
I think what we should talk about, as long as everyone is interested in this, is the realities of Twitch and YouTube. Because a lot of people look at it and go, as soon as anyone in any kind of fun job complains about anything, everyone's immediate response is, how dare you? You know, you've got the best job in the world. How dare you not be absolutely amazed at this? How dare you be unhappy with what you've got when so many people want what you have? So should we talk about if anyone in the chat's interested? I mean, we're going to go that way. We've got 2 hours to fill. But I think we should talk about the reality of YouTube. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, as somebody who's only very recently gone full-time with content creation, I can tell you it's, at least just starting off as well, it's really, really hard. Because a lot of the times you'll have... People think that you just... Okay, from someone looking in, they'll think that I'm just, you know, roaming around all week doing diddly squat, or, you know, out... just bouncing about, and then I'll walk in, look at my watch and be like, damn, I got an hour and a half until a video goes out. Just sit down, record me doing something for 20 minutes and upload it.
Just press the big make video button. That's all you need to do.
It's a lot harder than that. Like, usually you take an entire day or 2 days, because there's the research, there's the editing alone takes a long time. It's not just cutting out the boring bits, it's watching it through multiple times, finding out what needs to be in there, what you can absolutely get rid of.
Yeah. For high quality content, the rule tends to be for every 1 minute of finished content, it takes about an hour of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
So if a video is 10 minutes long, it's normally taken about 10 hours to make. And that's from researching the topic, writing, choosing graphics, editing. And this can vary. You know, some people can pump out a 10-minute video in 20 minutes because they don't bother doing any post-work production to it. In Hollywood, and I can speak with authority on this fact, for every 1 minute of film, there's roughly 100 hours of work that's gone into it. So if you want to produce a 120-minute film, you're looking at a hell of a lot of hours to make that work at all. And that's normally with just a team of actual people. It is ridiculously difficult. And it's great. And we aren't ungrateful in any way for the jobs that we have or the place that we happen to be in. But have you ever been at work and you've been assigned to a project? And, you know, your boss is telling you, hey, this project's super important. It's really important. You've really got to go through it. And you put all your time and all your effort into this project, and it's amazing and it's fantastic, and the project finishes, and all you want to do is just chill out. You want to just relax. You're like, okay, I put all my effort in. It's been a story. We've gone up to the top, and now we've gone back down. We can chill. Imagine if that project resets every 2 or 3 days, and the next project has to be bigger, has to be bigger, has to be bigger. That's the cycle. It's not, you can't plateau and do the same thing. People fall off. You've got to keep producing the same thing next and better and better and better and better every few days. Have you found that at all?
Yes, I have actually. And a lot of the time with the type of videos I make, I'll find I'm researching the next video while I'm editing the current one. So it doesn't ever really stop. You might get, people think that because I upload twice a week and stream, you know, well, no, three days a week, people think that I work 2 or 3 days a week, which, no, it doesn't work like that. It's difficult because, like you say, it's a constant wave after wave after wave. It just doesn't stop. But
and a lot of
you get into a rhythm at least.
You do start to hit that rhythm. You start to hit that that fluidity. But burnout is very, very real because you can't go on. You can't have a sick day. If you have a sick day in a regular job, your pay doesn't change. You know, you have a sick day, you come back in the next day, you carry on, someone's picked up the slack for you, you're normally okay carrying. You have a sick day on YouTube, your income's going down. Not just for that day. It's not just a drop and then a back to normal, it's a decline. As soon as you have 2 or 3 days off, it declines. And then you have to work extra hard to get it back up to where it was. It's like a boat going down and then going back up.
Yeah. It's a complicated one, isn't it? Because... If you think about it like this, let's say you put out a video and it's got a week and a half of longevity, right? Like before it tapers off to almost nothing. In that week and a half, you've probably released 4 or 5 videos, and it's like an accumulative ramp. Well, if you're missing one of parts of that ramp, you do notice it just going down over.
Oh god, yeah. Absolutely.
It's an odd one. It's really odd to explain until you're doing it.
Yeah. And
it's kind of odd.
Yeah, you've got this issue where your job, because YouTube is a service industry. YouTube is absolutely a service industry. Your job, the service you're providing is entertainment. And if you provide that well enough, the audience will watch, they'll enjoy, they'll forget, and they'll move on to something else. That's the nature of having millions of videos out there. And if YouTube can tell you're doing a pretty good job, then they will start to promote you, and you'll start to see your videos coming up in the algorithm and stuff and recommended to people. The moment you take a few days off, YouTube goes, that guy's quit. I may as well promote this other dude who's been working really, really hard. And that's the wave that we can ride to get to the top, but then we have to keep going, otherwise someone else
Everyone's victim to it, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I experienced exactly what you've just said. So you remember when I did the charity stream, and then I think it was the next week after, I'd completely lost my voice from that stream. And I missed the next 2 videos.
Yep.
My average viewership went from about 35k per video to 3k for the next week. And I'm sat there and I'm like, this isn't a coincidence. This is...
Yeah, that's YouTube. That's YouTube punishing you.
Yeah.
It is YouTube punishing you. So when you've got people like the Spiffing Brit, who has got a 2.2 million subscriber channel and employs a team of people to research the games he's going to break and to help with the editing and to help write the scripts and to do all the stuff. I mean, the guy works incredibly hard. He's a ridiculously good entertainer. But the pressure on him is not just on him to earn his own money. It's on him to earn the wages and pay his staff. He has a whole team of people. And if you have a company, a traditional company, normally you've got money in the company bank account that you can then use to pay people. If you're paying YouTube, you only need to have a bad month. And suddenly you can't pay your staff. You can't pay yourself. Your videos aren't doing as well. You are constantly on YouTube a month or 2 away from being irrelevant, which is really dangerous.
That is scary, and I understand why the system is like that, but I think it's definitely not lenient enough.
Yeah, the system is built to favour the viewer, and in many ways it should be. The system is not a charity for content creators. It's not designed to help us. The system is designed to help the viewer, as it should be. And if we provide what the viewer wants, great, the system supports us with that. If we don't provide what the viewer wants, the system doesn't support us with that. But the system is uncaring. So with the Spiffing Brit, the dude's been under a hell of a lot of pressure to pump out a ridiculous amount of content in a relatively short time. And if he stops, he doesn't get the system going, oh, that's okay, mate, don't worry, it's fine. You've built up some goodwill, you can use it.
Look
the
after yourself for a week.
Yeah, the system goes, cool, who else is there?
Yeah.
Who else is out there?
Yeah, exactly. Because... And this is a very recent change that I heard someone speak about. Now, you know how a lot of people say, oh, people aren't getting my videos in their sub box, and that's because of this. So, despite the fact that you're subscribed to someone, YouTube is trying to push you a constant feed. They're like, what are they going to click next? What are they going to click next? Now, if me or Josh take time off and we're regularly in your sub box, they'll be like, yeah, we'll put them on the back burner. And here's someone else to fill that gap for this week. And then because you watch their videos, because they're in your, your sub box, they're now perpetually in your sub box. Yeah.
It's people in the chat are saying correctly, they're consumers. The viewers are the consumers. The algorithm is designed to serve the viewer the video that they are most likely to click on. But it's not just the video they're most likely to click on now. It's a video style they're most likely to return to. Because the algorithm wants to make you a habitual creature. It wants to make you a person who returns to it. And that's probably why these movie recap channels are doing so well. Because you watch a movie in 15 minutes and you're like, hey, cool, let's watch the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. It forms a habit really well.
Yeah. And it's like I said to you in the last podcast when we were talking about trying to keep players logged in, because the minute they log out of your game, they're logging into another one.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that now. It's a fight between social media. So if you're not on YouTube, you're on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, or you're on some other form of social media that now has videos. And let's be honest, even if you hate the short videos on Facebook, you watch one and then you'll flick up and you'll flick up and you'll just keep doing it until you realise you're stuck in a loop and you're like, right, I'm coming off now. And then you'll probably go back to YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube want people watching it. because the more people watch it, the more they can charge for adverts and stuff. And YouTube Shorts is the biggest new thing they're pushing. They have been pushing YouTube Shorts and YouTube Premium so much. I mean, I watch the shorts when they are easy to understand. They take no effort whatsoever. My favourite ones are the kind of woodworking ones where you see a half... It's a piece of wood with a piece of plastic on the front of it, and you see like a nail being driven into it, or how a screw works.
And they're showing how like tap ties and all that work.
And you see how the ties work from inside, like a cut through of some mechanical stuff, or wood joining and things like that. I love those kind of things because they're so easy to watch.
There is a downside that YouTube's aware of this. They have to be because it's such a big problem. Now, they're all TikToks.
Yeah.
It's basically, this big thing that they're pushing, all these videos are just a big advertisement for TikTok.
Because that's all TikTok is.
Yeah. They're basically making... Shorts are TikToks. Yeah. They're not going to tell you that, but that's what they are. It's a rivalry to TikTok. But when every video on Shorts is an actual TikTok with the TikTok watermark, it kind of just drives you away, doesn't it?
It was a Bo Burnham episode, because Bo Burnham did a load of stuff before he did his amazing Inside performance. And one of the episodes, or the TV shows that he made, was this dude realising that people only listen to the intro of their favourite song. So he made a social media that plays the first 10 seconds of every song. And when people were like, where's the rest of the song? They're like, no, that's it. That's all you need to remember. That is the whole thing. And that's what YouTube wants to do. YouTube wants to hold your attention for 10 seconds. Because it knows if this isn't holding your attention for 10 seconds, something else will. And they can put it up next, and put it up next, and put it up next. It's the 10-second thing. It's why editing is so damn fast. Yeah, Tumblr is doing fine-ish. It's not. It's not at all. Vine was a great one as well. I missed, was it Thomas? Who was the one from Vine? Thomas Sanders?
The name rings a bell.
Yeah, the guy that did all the genuinely really funny Vines. The ones that were like, Thomas Sanders. He wasn't offensive, he wasn't abusive, he wasn't aggressive. The guy used to do story time and Disney quick sketches and comedy stuff and singing. I liked his stuff. I thought Thomas Sanders was a really funny individual.
Yeah.
I really liked his stuff.
What the difference is now, is it that TikTok is basically just Vine with bullying now, isn't it? Like, if we're being honest.
Yeah, TikTok is just Chinese censorship version of Vine.
Yeah, with added cyberbullying. So that's, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, someone here, Kindred Games, says game trailers have 10 seconds to sell your game. It's human nature these days to lose interest after 10 seconds. I completely agree. Yeah. Like, whenever I'm watching conventions and that, and I see a trailer come up for a game, I'll watch the first 5-10 seconds, and I'll just zone out if it hasn't grabbed my attention. I
swear to God, if another game or film trailer starts off really slow with an acoustic version of a rock song sung by a soft-voiced girl, I'm thinking, this is really not super original. You're just showing me really slow-moving footage through a deserted, destroyed city with, a beautiful ambient cover version of what used to be either a pop or a rock song. And you've seen that 1,000 times before.
It's just like everything's trying to be The Last of Us.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because was it The Last of Us that did it really, really well? Yeah, I can't think what song they used, actually. They did it really well.
This comes back to marketing from last week when we discussed everything comes back to advertising. Advertising is just the biggest force in any content creation. Everything comes down to advertising.
Yeah, advertising is the biggest part of the budget for every company now.
It really is. It really... It's not our fault they make boring trailers. We're going to make an... When Nightmare World is ready for any kind of alpha or beta, let's just make the fastest, most intense 10-second trailer we can, because we know we've got 10 seconds to grab your attention. And we'll reference that as well.
I don't know if you saw this, but it annoyed me so much. So, the New World trailer that they released just before the beta?
Kind of. Which one was it?
Exactly, there we go. You saying kind of just tells me.
I remember the dude's face with the eyes that were red and on fire, but it was very... Yeah. Was that the one where they slowly zoomed into the island and they saw time pass really fast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, in that trailer, they'd got this like big drum beat in the background. And you could tell that they tried to sync like anvil hits and that to the to the music, but they were offbeat with every single hit.
Oh god!
And I was watching it, and I had to close out of it in the end. I was just like, I can't watch this. This is painful. Because you can tell they're trying to, and they just butchered it so badly.
It's not super hard to make an interesting trailer. Just
no.
Also, we've got some people in the chat saying not many trailers involve gameplay.
Yeah.
So many. I mean, as Mongold famously said, Blizzard are always one trailer away from bringing everyone back. You know, it's one trailer away, you bring everyone back. Trailers are meant to sell you a game, or they're meant to say the idea of a game, or the passion behind wanting to buy a game. In fact, I think that's how it's changed. Trailers used to be about showing you the game. Now, the trailer is about building up enough hype that you buy the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And Blizzard, I think this is the one thing Blizzard's had going for them for the longest time now. Their trailers are second to none.
They're great. They're like small Hollywood films condensed, and they do very well. Yeah. The trailer for all the Diablos, the trailer for StarCraft.
Oh, yes.
They're amazing.
They've
really
all been...
good.
And even talking about like 10-second trailers, Heroes of the Storm, whenever they release a new hero, they make an incredible trailer of that hero, like its backstory, and that in about 30 seconds. It's a 30-second trailer, but they do it so well. And it's got animations that aren't even part of the game. But
the danger with this, the danger with this is you and me watching the trailer for a Blizzard game would know what to expect. Imagine showing that trailer to someone who'd never played a Blizzard game, and then they buy the game. How shocked would they be at the difference between the gameplay and what they saw in the trailer?
I don't need to imagine that, because this happened with my brother during Legion. He saw the trailer because it was on TV. In fact, I think Legion was the first one where they advertised the whole trailer as an advert on British TV. Like the whole 3-minute thing. Yeah. And he said to me, he was like, that looks so damn good. He was like, I'm gonna start Legion. I'll start WoW for Legion. He gets into it and he's just like, the hell is this?
What is this? Yeah, because...
Yeah, he was like, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
Imagine watching... imagine watching The Matrix and then going to play the Matrix PlayStation 2 game. Not exactly the same experience. Imagine watching the incredible trailer for, Battle for Azeroth or Shadowlands, and then you log into the game for the very first time, and it's a third-person... slow WASD game with an ability bar on the bottom and just numbers that pop up. That's not what you've been advertised. That's not at all. It's like you buy a pack of, knockoff biscuits from the corner store and they look amazing and massive and covered in chocolate and jam in the centre, and then you buy them and they're just like tiny, crappy wafer thin bits with a little bit of red in the middle.
It's going to be more difficult as this goes further as well, because now that we've got to the point of in-engine footage, everything's in-engine footage. Yep. Unreal Engine has proven that in-engine footage doesn't mean anything. Because you can render games in non-real time, and they are still in-engine footage. Yep. So you're getting these 8K videos that are being, compressed down, and some of the things you can do in Unreal Engine is phenomenal, but that's not the gameplay. Yeah, making your game do that in real time when you play it, that's a different story. You can render something and make it look amazing. Yeah, but it might not be that. To be honest, the best thing to do is just be like, here's 5 minutes of gameplay. Here's some highlights of the gameplay. One of the few trailers... Do you know why they're not doing that? Do you know why they're not doing that? Tell me why they're not doing that. Shit. Yeah, the gameplay's bad. It's not what they expect. Yeah. Are there any games, and again, throw this question out to chat, what trailers have been good, and then the game was equally as good? Can you think of a game? Because I can think of one straight off the top. I think Uncharted 4. One of my favourite games. Coming to PC, by the way, now, which I will definitely be playing. Uncharted 4 showed me incredible action game. Played it. Incredible action game. Off the top of my head, Halo Reach. Halo Reach, yeah. Halo Reach was, they hyped it up so much, and I know that when I was at school at this time, everybody thought it lived up to the hype. I don't know anyone who was disappointed after. Okay. Halo Reach is a good one. People in the chat are saying Halo 2. The Witcher 3. I really enjoyed The Witcher 3's trailer, the Killing Monsters trailer, where he starts fighting the dudes that are hanging the woman on the tree. We've also got Breath of the Wild. Borderlands games. The Borderlands ones were really good. Yeah, in my chat, I've got a lot of Hades. Hades is great. I bought Hades on Xbox recently. Really enjoying it. Divinity Original Sin 2 apparently had good, Original Sin 2 is gameplay.
incredible game. God of War. I like the God of War 2 and 3 on PlayStation 2. They were really good. I really enjoyed those.
Yeah. What else we got? Yeah, Borderlands. More Borderlands.
Oh,
Mass
Borderlands.
Effect 2.
Have you bought the Borderlands pack? I sent you the
No.
thing. If anyone on the chat, I don't know if it's still on sale, Borderlands, the complete franchise, was on sale for like £4. Game
I'm
1
getting that.
and 2, every single expansion. I don't know if it includes 3, but it's 1 and 2, every single expansion pack, and it's £4 for the whole thing.
Damn, I'm going to have to get that.
Yeah,
I have wanted to...
Yeah, pick it up.
Someone says Dreamworld, and they're not wrong, actually.
You know what?
The trailer was shit, but the game was just not as... It wasn't quite that bad.
I think the Dreamworld trailer delivered exactly what it promised.
Yeah. Have you seen the new one?
There's a new Dreamworld trailer.
There's a new Dreamworld trailer.
No, you're messing with me, Cal.
No, it came out yesterday. And this time they've enabled comments. But they're deleting any comment that isn't just polishing, well... You know.
Why have they put a trailer out for the, like...
Because I believe they're getting their second round of seed funding. Oh, and this gets even more wild. They are claiming that the CEO of Twitch, they tagged him in this on LinkedIn, that the CEO of Twitch has funded millions toward this.
Do you mean the current CEO of Twitch or the original, the current
They're
CEO?
saying the current CEO of Twitch.
I cannot wait to stream Dreamworld.
Yeah.
If Twitch are that behind it, you know they're going to be pushing it.
There's going to be Twitch drops in Dreamworld.
Oh my god, forget Guild Wars, forget Warcraft, forget RuneScape. And we'll talk about RuneLite HD in a minute. It's going to be about Dreamworld. Maybe it's Soldier Boy. Maybe he's got a hand in it somewhere.
Oh god, yeah.
Maybe he's bought Dreamworld.
He sold his Atari tokens
He
now,
has.
and he's
He's
bought into Dreamworld.
Bought Dreamworld peppers, which best be what they end up calling the Dreamworld coin from the pepper bomb. Right, so Dreamworld have put a trailer out again because they are the game version of how many times do we have to teach you this lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Their trailer is now even less coherent than the first one because they've jammed that many asset packs in since the first trailer. Like in the first trailer, we'd laughed at the 5 asset packs and you know everything else being stock.
Yeah, Dreamworld was just a collection of assets they bought.
I think someone counted it. It's over 50 asset packs just jumbled together.
That would be the brilliant tagline for the game. 50 asset packs jumbled together. That's it. That's Dreamworld. The last game you'll ever play because it's all of the... How long until they've just bought all of the asset packs? Every single asset pack you could possibly get.
We've been laughing at this because we go onto the Unreal Marketplace every week and we look at what's on there under the free content.
Oh, and it ends up being in Dreamworld.
And so I was on VC with a lot of people from my Discord, and I said, "Oh, look, they've added low poly deer to the store for free." I was like, "I can guarantee that's going to be their next week's update," and it was.
So their updates are: let's hang around and wait until better developers make stuff free, and then put it in our game.
Genuinely, and it's brilliant because I've been having so many emails about the icons that are being used for inventory stuff. So they've picked lots of free asset packs that are different art styles. So we've got like high res, we've got real items.
Yeah, there's no consistency. There's no consistency whatsoever in their aesthetic and their graphical style.
And people are finding out that they're using the same asset packs as Ark and other games because, well, they're messaging me saying they've stole assets from here, and I'm like, no, they're all just using the same asset packs.
Yeah.
But then they're bringing up, like I say, photorealistic games, saying, hey, they've used the icons from in here. And it just shows that they've got no idea for art direction. They don't care, to be quite frank. They don't care.
I've often told people that graphics and style are two different things, and you can have incredibly high fidelity graphics, you can have ridiculously detailed, graphical power, but you still need to have a consistent, coherent style. World of Warcraft is not the most graphically demanding game, but it's got a style. No. Minecraft is not graphically demanding, but when you see anything within the Minecraft style, and you don't recognise graphics, you recognise style.
And I'll tell you why. And this is a good example. Anytime you install a mod, that they've made it to try and look Minecraft style, but you just know it doesn't belong. Yeah. Because it's not been done by the people who made the rest of the textures. And even though it's keeping them separate, you could see that they're both Minecraft style. They don't belong together.
No.
And For Nightmare World, we've spent the last month trying to refine an art style. And you can just tell that Dreamworld have skipped over it because they're not making the art. They don't care.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Graphics age. Style doesn't. You can have... Your graphics will change. Borderlands 2 has that style. And when... The great thing about being known for a style is when someone else makes a game in your style, people end up saying, oh, that is a rip-off of this. I liked God of War 1. Someone just mentioned it on the... Are you talking about God of War or Guild Wars? Do you mean Guild Wars 1? Yeah, let's go back. Guild Wars 1, absolutely. It's got that classical fantasy style. You look at the style of RuneScape, is probably the MMO that does this the best. RuneScape has a certain graphical style. If you go away from that, you change the whole feeling of it.
Another example, RuneScape private servers.
Yeah.
When they add new items, and you know that they don't look like they belong.
Yeah.
But
the colours are too saturated, the item's too big, it doesn't work, the icon's not right, all that kind of stuff.
No distinction between the lines of like the hilt of a sword and the blade.
Correct.
They've got... People think it's just, oh, is it a low detail texture or a high detail texture? No, there's actual like theory put into how they do it.
BioBlaze, thank you very much for all the gifted subs. That's remarkably kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I meant to catch up on mine actually earlier. I think it was Suncat got 5 gifted subs, so thank you for that.
It's much harder to do when we're doing the kind of podcast thing, because this audio will also be going onto the podcast audio, so if we were to thank people for subs, we'd be doing that just all the time.
Constantly, yeah.
But no, thank you very much. We've got... let's talk about RuneScape HD. RuneLite HD, and we'll talk about how RuneLite HD is different to the OS HD, which came before, and the original. It's all complicated.
Yeah. It is a very complicated topic. By the way, did you see my awful timing on that?
Yeah, same as mine.
My video went live, and then 2 minutes into the video, into the countdown, someone goes, yeah, they've said it's fine to go.
Yeah.
Like, it's good to go. And I'm like, well...
Yep, people were saying it in mine halfway through. Me and Cal both put out videos about RuneLite HD being cancelled by Jagex, and in the premieres of those videos in the live chat, people were messaging us saying, hey, they've gone back on their decision. I'm like, well, thanks, Jagex. Thank you for doing that for us.
Fortunately, mine was more of like a history piece than just a, RuneLite HD. So I got away with that one.
Yeah, mine was straight at RuneLite HD. So let's explain what's happened. So RuneScape Old School RuneScape is a copy of the game from 2007, and in 2008 the graphics got an overhaul, a bit of an update thing. So the 2008 graphics, they're probably the graphics I remember most fondly. I played it before, but they're the ones that I remember. I don't know about you.
Yeah, that's the style that sticks with me. Whenever I think of like old memories from high school and that's the style I'm remembering it in.
Yeah.
So
you know, often when you remember your old games you played when you were a kid, and the graphics are always a bit better in your head than they actually were.
Yeah.
You know, you remember Ocarina of Time. Yeah, you remember Ocarina of Time, you remember the original Time Splitters, and you go back and play them now and you're thinking, yeah, these don't look as good as I remember.
Yeah.
Well, RuneLite HD, RuneScape HD, has had a third-party client called OS HD out for a while now, and you've been able to play Old School RuneScape with a HD overhaul. This RuneLite HD was a third-party plug-in for the RuneLite third-party client, and I'd say the majority of people probably use RuneLite.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I don't know many people that don't.
Yeah, RuneLite is carrying Old School
really
RuneScape.
Is.
If they banned RuneLite,
if they ban it, I'd be gone.
Yeah, straight up. I think they would lose. You're looking at an easy 50% of the, maybe more.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. And I think they know this, but it's put them in a predicament now because they don't have the majority vote anymore.
No.
When it comes to everyone's like, oh, just ban the clients. They know they would lose so many people, which is why they're now trying to bring over some of their features like item tagging, highlighting inventory things.
Yeah, the
XP
official
tracking.
Yeah.
Why was that not a thing?
Yeah, the official RuneScape launcher does not have a lot of the quality of life upgrades that RuneLite has. So they've been trying to add these quality of life upgrades to the official launcher. And I think once they've got all the stuff on the official launcher, they're probably going to try and destroy RuneLite. But they can't do that yet. It's too dangerous for them. And I think I'm in an interesting boat. I don't know how many people will agree with me. I really like RuneScape, but I'm not keen on Jagex.
Yes.
That's got to be the
company.
Yeah.
And just to clarify this, because I think you're on the same boat here. Not the public-facing mods or anything.
They're great. The developers of RuneScape are top-notch.
When we say Jagex, we mean, you know, the invisible man behind a door somewhere up at the top.
Yeah.
They are so disconnected from the community that play their game. It is unreal.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Final Fantasy XIV with Yoshi P coming out in cosplay of whatever class is coming out, talking to the actual people, you know, talking to the players, him appearing in-game. That is connection with the community. I don't think the upper management of Jagex have ever actually appeared in RuneScape to say thank you to the players, which is a real shame. The developers, the actual day-to-day, forward-facing people of Jagex that you can chat to and tweet at, top-notch. Absolutely top-notch people, every single one of them. Lovely, lovely people. Apart from Ian.
Yes, apart from Ian. In fact, I just want to give a shout-out to Mod Ash, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Dead Man tournament, the first one?
Yes.
Where it was last man standing and Wooks won. Not by cheating, but by unconventional methods.
Oh, the one where he got a load of stackable food
and
then he just stood in the poison and didn't die.
Yeah, there was a £10,000 prize pool for the winner. Now, he followed the rules exactly.
He did.
Now, sure, it was a bit anti-competitive what he did, like, I can see why people would have been a bit annoyed, but he did win.
Yeah.
And they basically banned him from the tournament as it finished and gave second place the prize. Do you know that Mod Ash actually paid him £10,000 out of his own bank account as an apology on behalf of Jagex?
He did. Mod Ash literally stepped up and said, hey, here's 10 grand of my own money in order to pay you the winnings that the company promised you, that the company have prevented you from getting. So let's just fill everyone in the chat in on how that works. So Dead Man mode is a seasonal old school RuneScape tournament
Battle Royale.
Yeah, everyone starts fresh and you've got increased experience rates and everyone rushes through all the quests and all the bosses. And how long do you have before the actual battle starts? It's like
a week, I think.
Yeah, so you have a week to prepare.
So it goes on for a week, and the way this works is it's basically just RuneScape for a week, but fast.
Yep.
And then on the final day, they have a big ring of, poison that closes in. Yeah, and it'll basically, it's like Fortnite. It'll box them into a very small city, and it's a massacre. And when it gets down to the last, well, they've changed it now, haven't they? But back then, it was just last man standing.
Yeah, just keep going until you die.
Yeah, and they've now changed it to avoid this exact issue. And it's now that they've got the 1v1s. So when it gets down to the last 100 people,
you get given
you will get thrown into 51 v1s, and then after those 51 v1s, down to 25.
Yeah.
And it just goes down until it's a final 1v1. Yeah. And in fact, they added that to stop that issue, which is the right way to do it.
It is. But what they did with the first Dead Man mode is Wooks, who is an incredibly talented PvE player. Wooks, first person to solo the Corporeal Beast, first person to complete the Inferno.
With
with nothing in the inventory. The guy is an absolute god of PvE in RuneScape. He discovered that instead of fighting in Dead Man mode, if he just spent the entire time fishing, and then he noted his fish, because you can normally carry 28 items in your inventory, he noted his fish, but then he had a load of money, and what he would do is he would sell the fish to a merchant in-game, and then he would buy the fish back, which effectively unnotes it. You sell him 28 noted fish, and then the merchant has fish in their inventory, and then you buy 28 fish back, and he gives you the actual fish, not the notes for it. So he just stood in the poison the entire time, just selling, unnoting, and eating the fish. So he was taking damage.
Because banks were closed.
Yeah.
But for the final, when the fog, the last day comes and the fog comes in, banks were disabled, I believe.
Yep.
Or there was some catch where you couldn't take food or something out of your bank, to stop you just keep doing that.
Yeah.
So he used clever use of game mechanics, is what I would.
Yeah, not a glitch. Everything was working as intended. That was what was meant to happen.
Yeah.
And he won because no one could kill him and no one could find him because no one thought, hey, let's go and search the deepest, darkest part of the poison field for the last person. Everyone else was in the actual safe zone. He was just there chilling with a merchant.
And what made this worse is this was at TwitchCon, I believe. This was their first time doing it big at TwitchCon. Second Dead Man, I believe, but first big Dead Man at TwitchCon. So this was in front of a huge live audience at a main stage, broadcast all over Twitch. Like, I believe there was something like 70 70,000 people watching at the start.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And by the end, it was probably closer to 100,000 because it wasn't just RuneScape; it was everyone from TwitchCon.
Yeah, wants to watch it.
Yeah, so it was.
And you know what? Part of the developers probably absolutely hated it, and the other part, the much, much, much smarter part, probably thought this is the best thing that could happen. This is going to be the most remembered story of a Deadman mode.
Yeah, and it definitely was, though, wasn't it? Because
we're talking about it now.
Yeah,
you know, it's carried on. It became legend. When things like this happen, when things fall into legend, that's a chance. And I was talking about this in my last video. That's a chance for developers to take lore and myth and add it into their game. I would be all for, if I was developing this game, I would say, right, from now on, Deadman mode, as soon as the poison creeps in, you then have a second wave of poison, which just looks like NPCs dressed as wooks, who will come up and like smack you with an Armadyl Godsword spec or start shooting you with bows. So you pay homage to the legend that happened.
Their mistake, though, was when he won. They were talking about the fact he won, and then you got the typical,
yeah. Oh, losing you a little bit there. The signal.
Not, gave him his proper ceremony or anything, but it was...
No, I get it. And suddenly they were saying, oh, you didn't play in the spirit of the game. You didn't play in the spirit of this. The spirit of the game is to win. When money is on the line, the spirit is to win.
And they accused him of bug abuse live in front of everyone, didn't they? Where they said, oh, you were tick eating.
Wasn't a bug.
He was like, no, I was just eating.
Yeah. Can you imagine trying to tick eat for like half an hour? You'd mess up somewhere at some point.
Oh, yeah. Well, he wouldn't, but...
Yeah, everyone in the chat, we lagged for a few seconds, but we got Callum back. It's all fine. Oh, yeah, Wooks are probably fine with it. But, you get these situations where gamers find a way to break games, and I think that when that happens, the development team should find a way to joke with them and laugh about it and improve and make it better and use that as part of your lore.
Absolutely.
What on earth were we talking about before this? I forget where the tangent went from and to.
Right.
That was it.
No,
Runelight
I was going
HD.
to tell the difference between old school HD and the Runelight HD.
Yes.
So, old school HD was closed down because they actually did pirate assets from the old version of RuneScape.
Right.
Now, and the reason for this, and as annoying as it is, because you're thinking, well, they're just making like an update to the game. However, there's unusual things with intellectual property laws in the UK where if you're not defending your intellectual property, whether used now or later, or previously,
it can be argued that it's fallen into public domain.
Exactly, and this is why the WoW Nostalrius private server incident happened. It's not that they didn't want it. I mean, they obviously didn't want it, but that was the reason. Like, they could lose intellectual properties to the servers that they now have released themselves.
Yeah. So what's happened was the OS HD, which was a client that made RuneScape look like it did in 2008, made it look like it did in 2008 because they actually found the textures, the assets, and uploaded them and said, hey, you can use this. And in the UK, if someone else uploads your copyright material and you become aware of it and you don't actively challenge them, it can be seen as your permission to use the asset. And,
that you've got a copyright that you don't really care about anymore and it's not valid.
And that then becomes used as a defense in court when the people that have used your assets then start to say, hey, they knew about it, they didn't tell me to stop, therefore it's public domain, I should be allowed to use it, you didn't defend your copyright, therefore you don't care about it. And judges have ruled against them.
Yeah, someone says here, like squatters' rights.
And
it's pretty much exactly that.
Kind of like digital squatters' rights. As soon as you become aware of someone using something, you have to put up a challenge to it. And a lot of companies do this. I mean, Games Workshop is pretty bad about it. As soon as they see anyone using any of their things. Didn't Games Workshop try and actually prevent the US military using the phrase Space Marine for putting a Marine in space?
Yeah, I heard about this, but I wasn't sure if it was serious or not. I thought it was just a joke because of all this 3D printing nonsense that was going on.
We would have to look into it. We'd have to, research it. We'll get someone to researching it. But I love the idea that, the US military have this massive, huge ceremony, and they've got this rocket, and they've got these hyper-trained, elite soldiers, the Marines. And then someone from Games Workshop comes along, they're like, actually, the Emperor of Mankind says no. Oh, God. I'm going to have to research that. But
someone here says, I think it was a joke.
I hope it was a joke.
It was a joke, because that's ridiculous.
But knowing Games Workshop, have we talked about, I think it was last week, why Games Workshop are going absolute hell for leather in defending all of their IP rights?
I don't think we spoke about it last week. We spoke about it when you hopped on and we were announcing the podcast on my stream.
Oh, yeah, we should probably talk about it again.
Was their trademarks running out, isn't it?
Yeah, so trademarks don't last forever. Trademarks aren't, all time. And Disney have done a hell of a lot to lobby a lot of the law, especially in America, for trademarks to last longer. Normally, when a trademark runs out, things fall into what's called public domain. And when things are in public domain, you can make money off selling your version of them. So
yeah.
I think a couple of Sherlock Holmes stories, but not all of them. Some of the Conan the Barbarian stories, like Moby Dick, old stories like that, fall into public domain. And in order to keep your trademark up on something, you have to keep refreshing it. And you have to keep showing how it's changed and how it's new and how it's different. Do you guys mean copyright? Yeah, potentially copyright. Like Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft. I think that's now in public domain. Yeah, Treasure Island.
I believe it is.
Yeah, Treasure Island's in public domain now as well. Disney are about to lose a lot of copyrights to public domain.
Yeah.
I think one of them is the copyright to Mickey Mouse.
Yes, Mickey Mouse is their biggest one because that's their logo.
Yeah.
It's a version of their logo.
Like, imagine someone making a knockoff Mickey Mouse anything and selling it on a market somewhere, and some Disney lawyer just sat there going, nothing we can do.
Yeah, and that is going to be the case when it expires.
Yeah.
At least for a little while.
Yeah, so Disney are lobbying so much to try and get all of their copyright to show they're defending it violently. And Games Workshop have started to do the same thing. Games Workshop have started to take down a load of fan-made creations, a load of books. Have you seen that Magic the Gathering did it to Brandon Sanderson recently?
No.
Okay, so Brandon Sanderson, amazing fantasy author. I think he made the Mistborn trilogy. And what they did was, Brandon wrote a Magic the Gathering novella. It's like 200 pages, but he still considers it a novella. And what then happened was, he said, hey, you can have this, provided it's online for free forever. And all the sales you make from the paper version of this book, I want to go to charity. And Wizards of the Coast went, cool. And recently, they've taken the online version down. So Brandon is not happy about that whatsoever. We'll need to look into that, but yeah, he is really, really not good with that. But you've got all these things, these copyrights, and trademark law is complicated. Copyright is complicated, trademark law is complicated. Any company wants to defend their trademarks and their copyrights on anything.
Yeah, someone's saying here that it's only Steamboat Willie. If it's any other depiction of Mickey, they can still sue.
Right. This is the depiction rule, because...
Yeah, they're essentially the same.
Yeah. Did you hear about the Netflix version of Sherlock potentially being sued by... It was Enola Holmes, the Netflix show, the one with Henry Cavill in it, potentially being sued by the Sherlock estate. Did you hear about that?
I heard something vaguely, and it was to do with the fact that it was a different depiction that was in public domain, wasn't it?
So some Sherlock Holmes stories are public domain, and some of them aren't. You need to buy the rights to perform these stories. And part of the public domain and the not public domain argument is actually the personality of Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
So Enola Holmes, the Netflix show, had a depiction of Sherlock that showed him being more loving, more caring, more human, more connecting. And the Sherlock estate argued that actually that depiction is not public domain. That version of Sherlock, you should have paid for.
That's really tricky to...
Because it's not a maths equation. It's not black and white.
No,
it's not yes or no. And this is where the
exactly,
lawyers...
it's a feeling.
And this is where the lawyers argue about stuff. And this is where the use of the wordsmith comes in. You've got to try and convince somebody else that you're right.
Yeah. I hate stuff like that because you can't have a law around something that is so... that a computer couldn't figure out.
Subjective.
That's
it's
the
subjective,
way I like to look at it, yeah.
It's
if
absolutely subjective.
Was programmed to figure this out, it couldn't.
And that's
'Cause
exactly
it
why
is
we have lawyers.
subjective.
The job of a lawyer is not to go through and to find the exact law and to work out whether it is or isn't being broken, because if that were the case, we wouldn't even need lawyers. You would just need someone whose job it was to research what's happening. A lawyer's job is to convince other human beings that the law either is or isn't being broken. It's very open to interpretation, and that's one of the dangers of it. And that's why when you walk into a courtroom with an army of lawyers behind you, you're thinking, right, I'm going to convince you that my version of this law is correct because all these people have found ways that say it is.
Yeah.
And one of the strongest tools that a lawyer has is something called setting a precedent. Once a judge has ruled a certain case one way or the other, it sets a precedent that all future lawyers can then use. That's why when you hear lawyers say, oh, in the case of X versus Y 1994, in the case of, you know, this person versus this institution, all they're doing is showing previous examples of what's happened and why, if the law wants to be consistent, which most judges do.
The straw man argument of, well, ignore what the thing at hand right now, this is how it happened before.
Exactly. They said, hey, something similar happened in the past, this was what was ruled in the past, this is going to carry on.
Yeah.
Lawyer fees as well. Arcane Hermit has just put in my chat a very good thing. Lawyer fees. Fair use is not super fair.
No.
Fair use is designed to protect companies from other companies. It's not designed to protect the regular everyman from a big company who wants to then go after them.
Yeah, fair use is only fair until it isn't.
Yeah, fair use is fine if you know, a big company wants to use another big company's advert. But if a small YouTuber wants to use a clip and it gets taken down and the YouTuber goes, that's fair use, it might be.
Yeah.
Are you going to take them to court? Because you're going to have to.
Yeah. That is exactly it.
Are you going to pay the court fees? Are you going to hire a lawyer?
Because at that point, and this is where it stops being fair, for the amount of money you'll pay in fees to be taken to court, you might as well have paid to use the thing. And that's where it becomes very unfair, because now the thing that should be free to use fairly, you're now better off paying for it.
This is a much bigger conversation than I expected, but I'm very happy we're having it. The law very much favours people who have money, and anyone who thinks it doesn't is misinformed. Yeah. I had a very, very wealthy friend, and I was in London for a day, and my wealthy friend came to visit me, and they parked on a double yellow line, and I said, you can't park there. And they said, you can, it just costs £200.
Yeah.
If your punishment for doing something is a fine, what that actually means is legal for rich people.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a case where this happened.
Yeah. If you do X and your punishment is just money.
I know exactly a case where this happened. I've got a friend who's got a very nice, is it like a very nice Mercedes AMG, like a top spec, and he's got one of these, the gel number plates on it. And he keeps, every time I see him, he's like, oh, I've got another bloody fine for the, you know, for using an illegal number plate.
Yeah.
And I was like, how much is that costing you a year? He was like, about 450. He was like, it's worth it for a cool number plate.
Imagine having so much money that you say, right, £450 yearly budget to get fined for something.
But you see, he doesn't see it that way. He sees it as, I've got a really cool modification on my car and it only costs 450 a year. Yeah. And if you look at it like that,
yeah, it's a way of doing it.
I suppose it makes sense, but at the end of the day,
people in the chat are also
legal for rich people.
Yeah, people in the chat are saying two things I want to go to about. One of them is copyright law and trademark law. A lot of people, when they talk about it, think about US law, when it's Japan has no fair use law whatsoever. All of my videos on Sword Art Online got taken down within a week. Because they're by Sony Music Entertainment Japan, because I was using stills and shots from Sword Art Online Japanese version, they have zero fair use laws. You use something that's not yours, no discussion, down. That's all that's happening straight away. And people are saying, what about the percentage? Is a fine being a percentage of your income? That's happened.
Someone says that in Sweden they do that.
Yes, they do. So in fact, I think Sweden holds the record for the most expensive speeding ticket ever given.
Yeah.
It's in the hundreds of thousands of euros. Because someone was caught speeding on a road they were fined, X% of their yearly income, and they happened to be a multi-millionaire. So they paid hundreds of thousands of euros.
I completely agree with that, though.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's great.
The thing is, it's meant to be a punishment.
It is.
And if it's pennies under the sofa, that's not a punishment.
Exactly. It's meant to be
says,
there.
I think it's Finland, not Sweden, that did that, yeah.
Yeah, it's meant to be there to prevent you. It's meant to be an incentive to not do something.
Not do it again.
If the incentive is so small that you don't care about not doing it again, who's going to do it again?
It's basically a small tax, isn't it?
Yeah. In fact, I think this is a fake story, but this is it's a nice story, and I like it, and I like retelling it. There was an example many, many years ago of a rich old lady going to a bank and saying, "Hey, can I have a £1,000 loan for about a couple of months?" And the bank went, "Yeah, cool. What's your collateral on this?" And she went, "My incredibly expensive Rolls Royce." And the bank were over the moon. They were like, "This is a £500,000 Rolls Royce, and she wants a £1,000 loan. This is great." So the bank took the Rolls Royce and stored it as collateral. And the lady came back and repaid the loan like 2 weeks later. And because it was only 2 weeks, she was only repaying like pounds in interest.
Yeah.
And the bank went, "What on earth was that for?" And she went, "There's nowhere else you can store a Rolls Royce for 2 weeks for only £5."
That's actually incredible.
It was a brilliant idea.
Incredible.
Yeah, but I was reading about the way that rich people use money. It is so far apart from the way that I see money, or that anyone working would see it. There's actually a system. You can Google it. It's called Buy, Borrow, Die. It's a genuine system. You can Google Buy, Borrow, Die, and it's a series of steps in order to unlock wealth and not pay tax. Would you like to know how to unlock wealth and not pay tax?
Please tell me.
Let's imagine that you work really hard throughout your life and you manage to build up a bank account of £100,000. That'd be lovely. Anyone would love to have 100 grand in the bank account. Now, if you take out all that £100,000 and say you own a company and you pay it to yourself, well, that's income. You give yourself money, that's income. You're paying tax on that.
Yeah.
Let's say that you own a business. You own a business selling, boats. You start a boat business and you buy £100,000 boat and you say, "That's a business expense. That's not my income. That's a business expense right there." Well, they're not going to tax on a business expense, are they? Because there's complicated laws and the ways around this. You spent 100 grand, you've got a 100 grand boat. You don't own it. It's a business asset. Then you go to a bank and you say, "Hey, loan me £100,000. I'll use my boat as collateral." Legally, a loan does not count as income. A loan is your authority to spend somebody else's money, but it's not income. So the bank then says, "Sweet, here's a £100,000 loan. We're using your boat as collateral. In 10 years, you've got to pay us back £105,000. And you know what that is? That's
not even a fraction.
That's 5% increase over 10 years. Can you imagine paying 5% tax over 10 years? That's insanely low. That's ridiculously low. So, you build up a load of wealth somehow. You buy something. You take a loan out against the value of the something. You spend the rest of your life spending that loan. Do you pay it back? Who cares? If you die, the bank get your boat.
And it's not even yours. So
not even yours. It's the company's.
It wouldn't have gone to family, so yeah.
Exactly. It is ridiculous way of doing it, yeah.
Clever, though. Very clever.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, it's one of those situations where the best way to make money is to already have a load of money. It's dumb.
Rich get richer.
Yeah, it's absolutely dumb. The rich do get rich and the poor do get poorer. And it sucks. Because when I was in university and I went into my student overdraft, the bank would contact me and be like, "Hey, Josh, we see you're £5 overdrawn. Just so you know, we're going to charge you £5 a week until you get out of that." And then it was like, "Hey, £5 a day until you get out of that." I'm like, this is not helping. I've overdrawn because I don't have the money.
Yeah, you're charging me for not having money.
Yeah, you're literally making me pay for not being rich.
Yet you've allowed me to go overdrawn.
Exactly. But let's say that you walk over to the bank and you've got an extra £200 in the bank, and the bank say, "Well done. We're going to give you 0.0000 3% interest. So at the end of the year, you'll have earned like a fifth of a penny. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely dumb and stupid. And it is a stacked system against people building wealth.
Fun fact about the interest at banks. Do you know where they get this formula for how much interest to give you? Yearly inflation. So it's actually a con. You're not making money. They've just compensated for your inflation.
Oh, so they've worked out how much your money was worth last year, how much your money would be worth this year, and just giving you the amount to make up the difference.
That's the percentage.
What great. Yeah.
Pointless.
What a great thing for them to do.
Yeah.
I like how...
For regular banks, anyway.
I think in every Tangent Tavern, we're going to, at some point, get onto a rant about money.
Yeah, I feel
that's going to have to happen. And it's okay.
For this now.
It's totally okay. Yeah, so Runelight HD.
In fact, Runelight HD, that's what we're on about.
This links back to money. I am convinced this links to money. So what I think would have happened somewhere is some Jagex staff member would have gone to one of the executives in Jagex and said, oh, hey, just so you know, that 2-year mod to make our game look nice, that's coming out now. And one of the executives would have said, could we maybe sell this in like 5 or 6 years' time? Could we use it as an advertising slogan? HD is back. And you know, the dude went, yeah, probably. And the executive went, cool, just shut down the other dude's one. That's what it is.
And it's the sad thing about this is they originally said we are never bringing the HD. They went purposely back to 2007 because they said people don't want the HD version. They want old school. And that was true. Yeah. But now people are wanting that thing and they refuse to give it to people. Someone else came and did it. Yeah. And now all of a sudden they're sat there thinking, crap, what do we do about this? Because like they've kind of put their foot in their mouth at this point.
Jagex make a load of money from microtransactions in RuneScape 3, which I'm still pissed about because they've started selling overloads. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that. Yeah, there is uproar over it, isn't there?
So one of the things that microtransactions in RuneScape 3 had going for them was Jagex have always said, we'll keep the integrity of the game and we're not just going to straight up sell you power. Now, that was a lie from day one because you can buy enough spins for the wheel and get money and experience.
I mean, literally day one, I got a Bandos chestplate and an Elysian Spirit Shield.
Yeah, and it sucked, didn't it?
At level 82 combat.
It just takes all the fun out of wanting to get something. So one of the latest things Jagex are now selling is a skilling pack. And in the skilling pack, and again, there's no restriction on who can buy this, you get 5 overload potions. And an overload potion is a massive boost to all of your combat stats that refreshes itself every few seconds so it doesn't even tick down. And you can just buy them now. Yeah,
and Locust just put in my chat, he got 200 mil once. Yeah. And 200 mil isn't an insignificant amount of money. No. That's an insane amount of money.
It's a lot. It's a hell of a lot in RuneScape, So you've got that stupid... they're just selling power.
They are, and it's a shame because that, I think, was truly one of the tipping points. That followed by EOC. Like I said this in my recent video, they made too many decisions that were controversial back to back to back.
And this is one of the reasons people dislike anyone arguing for anything, because it is, and people always say, oh, slippery slope fallacy. Slippery slope fallacy. If A happens, then B will happen. You've got to draw a line in the sand somewhere. And wherever you stand up and start arguing for, people will always say, this isn't the hill you want to die on. So when RuneScape said, hey, we're doing a special Premier Club where you can have different levels of membership, people went, no, this is the opening to microtransactions. And they went, no, it's not, don't worry, it's just an extra thing. Then they did the Squeal of Fortune. And people went, right, I'm against this. And went, no, it's fine, it's just a thing. It's always...
Solomon's Store, and then the...
Yeah.
It's just give an inch, take a mile.
It's always a little thing, isn't it? It's always... And people say to you, oh, you don't want to get angry about this little thing, because then you look like the crazy one for getting annoyed over something small.
Yeah. And the thing is, the community is very wise to that now. Because here's the thing. Jagex have had the incredible opportunity of a reset button.
Yeah.
They lost millions of players between those, between EOC... Solomon's Store, the Squeal of Fortune, the Wilderness going. Between all of those, they lost millions of players. And they have had the incredible opportunity to hit the reset button. And I remember there was something really small where they said, we're going to do in-game sponsored events. And they were like, so for example, if we sponsor a Mountain Dew, you get a green home teleport. And everyone was like, nope.
Don't
Stop
do that.
now.
Yeah, I remember they're straight up on it. They were like, you do
was
not
like
do this.
98% poll.
Yeah.
And Jagex were like, yeah, but you don't have to pay for anything. And they're like, no, we do. We have to pay for
It's the integrity of the game world. And you see this happen all the time. You don't want your game to become a vehicle for advertising.
Yeah.
You want your game to be its own thing.
Yeah. And this is where Jagex... I'm very interested to see where they go with this, because Jagex, when they launched Old School, have foregone any sort of microtransactions. They have gave a hardcore promise.
Yep.
We will never have microtransactions. You will never have the opportunity to spend any more money on this game than your membership fee.
I mean, bonds then came into it, and people were like, ooh, is this a precedent? Have we set something here?
Yeah. I mean, bonds is the one that I would say is acceptable.
Yeah.
Just because of a lot of people don't understand the positives.
It massively prevents
the positives
gold
outweigh
buying.
the negatives.
Hugely prevents gold buying for the game, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something called asset stripping, which I think is what's going to happen. Asset stripping actually happened to Runescape a long time ago.
Yeah.
When you as a dev team do something good, you build up goodwill with your players. When you do something bad, you burn the bad will. You can spend the goodwill to make lots of money.
Yeah.
Let's imagine this. Let's imagine that I owned a shop and I wanted to sell my shop to somebody else. And in order to increase the value of my own shop, I think, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to massively increase my profits for this year. I'm going to do everything I can do to increase my profits for this year. So the end of the year comes, and I sell the tills. I sell the shop shelves. I sell the carpet. I sell everything. But I make a lot of money, because I'm selling stuff I shouldn't sell. And I use that to artificially inflate how much money I've actually made, how much the company is worth. And someone else buys the company off me, assuming that kind of profit is going to continue.
Yeah.
When they get in, they realise, oh, hang on, we only made that much money because they sold off all the essential stuff.
They've decimated the store,
Remember when Jagex got bought out by Insight Ventures, and then the first thing Insight Ventures did was to put in the Squeal of Fortune and Treasure Hunter and, Solomon's Store. And then within only a year or two, Jagex's value shot up. And the reason it shot up was because a load of people spent a load of money very quickly in these stores.
Yeah.
So then they sell the company while it looks like it's going up in value, and then suddenly the new investors realise, hang on, this is not sustainable. And they've realised they've not only sold off stuff that they need, they've burnt all of their goodwill with the player base, and it drops.
You have brought up a perfect topic here, because someone's counter argument is going to be, yes, but what about all the people at the start of the year that cancelled their subscription and stopped playing? Surely that would counteract it. Wasn't it funny the timing that they brought in the year membership bundle?
Yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah, let's buy it for a year.
People can't back out after they've purchased the year. Well, they can, but it doesn't matter. They've lost.
That's why with World of Warcraft you could get that stupid flying ship if you bought a 1 year's membership.
Yeah.
Because everyone wanted the flying ship.
This is a good telltale sign. If a company is ever... after, at the start of a year, before they launch something, before they do something, if they are ever offering you a bulk membership, you start to ask yourself why. Because what they're going to do after that is probably either nothing or horrendous.
I'm getting a load of offers on Patreon right now. Patreon are telling me that I can give yearly subscriptions to my patrons if I want to.
Doesn't that defeat the purpose?
Yeah, I don't want to.
No.
I'm in a service industry. I mean, as Bo Burnham said, you wouldn't keep going to your mechanic if he stopped fixing your car. You and me are entertainers. If we stop entertaining people, leave.
Yeah, I got the same offer for it, and I'm sat there thinking, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, that's really dumb. And this is why I disagree with Twitch adding their multi-month subscriptions up front. Like, do you know about those?
Yeah.
I've had some people that have subscribed to me for 7 months or 6 months in advance.
You might start sucking next month. Who knows?
Or
I might say, hey, I'm going to quit next month. No, you don't know. These people pay for what you want and what you're getting now. And if the company change, stop paying them.
Yeah.
Like
if a company's doing like they've just said with WoW, the 6 months, it's because they know you're not going to want to pay next month.
Yeah, they know something's about to happen within that 6 month period that's going to cause a drop in subs, and they don't want it to be that extreme. So they give you a 6-month period where, hey, buy 6 months now for the price of 3, and people buy it for the price of 3. So then they think it's a good deal, but then it can do some dodgy stuff.
Yeah.
So with RuneScape, you had that thing where they started to burn the goodwill of the thing. They started to asset strip it, started to sell away. RuneScape 3 is the bastion that's holding back all the stuff from old school RuneScape.
Yeah.
Old school RuneScape made its money from selling membership. That's all they had to do. Make a good name, sell membership. I think eventually they are going to find some way to try and monetize it, and it's up to the community to stop it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a tricky thing here. So a lot of people are like, oh, but they make all the money in membership fees for old school. Your old school membership is free with RuneScape 3.
They make more money from one RuneScape 3 player than from 10 old school players. It's already been shown in the graphs. One RuneScape 3 player, because that RuneScape 3 player has the option to spend more money. Therefore, they are more valuable to a company. An old school player does not have the option. And when you subscribe to old school, you're also subbed to RuneScape 3. They count the subs as both.
Yeah, and I think, do you know when this came out about them trying to do sponsored events in-game?
Yeah.
I can guarantee that the reason this happened is because the venture capitalists or whatever, the investors that are investing in RuneScape 3 have said, hey, they're getting that thing free with RuneScape 3. Why aren't we making money off that?
Yeah. Why can't we charge them more?
And the thing is, Jagex probably thought old school would die out in a few months and it would never be heard of again. But they've now got themselves in this situation where they're directly tied to RuneScape 3, which is a cash cow.
Yeah. Oh, it is. RuneScape 3 makes them so much money. It is the bastion against the microtransactions coming to it. But microtransactions make way too much money anyway. What were we talking about before this? We had a weird tangent we went off on.
We were talking about burning the goodwill.
That was it, burning the goodwill with the people. So RuneScape 3 came out, they burnt all the goodwill. Do you think the companies... I mean, have CD Projekt Red done that with Cyberpunk? There was so much goodwill built up from The Witcher 3. And giving out, sales on Steam or giving out free DLC or the fact that Witcher 3 was just bloody brilliant. Everyone said, right, you have built up a load of goodwill. We will pre-order your game even though we shouldn't. And then the game came out and people were burned. And have you noticed now that the damage that CD Projekt Red have done to them, it hasn't just used up the goodwill. It's not a scale that tips. No. They've not only used up the goodwill, they've then built up a load of badwill.
Yeah, they're public enemy number 1 now.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to recover unless they come out with something that they haven't pre-announced. If they come out, they're going to have to come out with a game that they've not told anyone about and just be like, hey guys, we're really sorry about all the crap that happened. Here's a good new game for you.
Yeah.
And another example of this, Earth 2 has recently expended a lot of goodwill.
Oh my god, Earth 2 is just the gift that keeps on giving.
Have you heard about this?
The one thing I have heard about, and you probably know way more about this than I do, but I just want to bring up one point really quickly. I saw someone on Twitter tweeting about Earth 2, and there was a long chain, and halfway down, one person just said, I ran into my family dinner to tell them that Shane had tweeted. Shane is the guy developing Earth 2. And none of them cared. Cowards. And I thought, you're treating this guy like a cult leader.
Yeah.
This is insane. This is the cult of personality. This is worship levels of fear. Yeah. But no, tell me what's happened.
Okay, so first things first, I'll quickly tell you. I now own 100 tiles in Earth 2. We'll get back to that, though.
Oh, right. Oh, you're okay, Cal. You've put me on the defensive now.
I haven't bought it, don't worry.
Oh, thank God.
But yeah, they released this thing where you can gather their cryptocurrency essence, right?
Is it actually a cryptocurrency, or is it just a proprietary thing inside their own? It's a game coin, isn't it? Yeah. It's a game coin.
It's a digital coin, a game coin, yeah. Now, what they did was they released mentors, which you could pay $5 for to put on each of your tiles. So think about the big high rollers who already bought lots of tiles for 70 cents the day it launched.
So is it $5 for every tile you own, or is it $5 per tile?
Per tile.
So you have to pay $5 every time to put a mentor on a tile. So if I own 100 tiles, that's $100. That's $500.
Yeah.
Right. What does a mentor do?
Generates essence, which, as they said at the time, you will use essence to buy these things called EPLs, which are basically web domains on Earth 2.
So how do you
buy a subdomain?
Right. So Earth 2 is its own little intranet. its own mini internet itself, and they're selling web domains, so earth2.whatever.com, and it's not a real website, it's a website on Earth2 that you can visit. And
exactly,
you buy
subdomain.
Right, you buy those domains for Essence, and you generate. It's sounding like a mobile game right now.
But wait,
it gets better.
I told you that this is why people bought the Mentors, to get Essence way ahead of time, like 2 months ahead of time. We're going to get these Mentors. We're going to, because people have to buy an EPL for each tile. So they have to buy a web domain for each of their tiles. So what you can do is, let's say you bought a tile and you bought an EPL for it. So it's earth.2/Josh Strife Hayes. So people can find it easily. It's not just a long list of letters and numbers for that property.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people realised if I have to buy that for everything, I'm going to need a lot of Mentors. So they got lots of Mentors. They've started accumulating thousands of Essence. And then they released EPLs for $10 per EPL instead of for Essence.
So they were saying you're going to need to... Can you still spend Essence to get them?
Nope.
So they said you're going to need to buy EPLs. It's a major part of the game, and you're going to need Essence. So people bought Mentors to get Essence.
Yeah, so now the people who wanted an EPL for each property have spent $5 on a Mentor because they thought that was going to be the way to get them, and then an extra $10 for the actual EPL. So they've spent $15 in total for something that would have cost them $5.
What does the EPL do?
It's literally a link.
So
it's a subdomain.
It's a link to that tile.
Yeah, so every tile's got a randomly generated long string of numbers and letters, right?
Okay, yeah.
So, like, I might have a tile I've just bought that is earth.2/
a long string of letters and numbers.
Spaghetti, yeah. So if I link that to you, it looks horrible. But if I want it to look good, and I want people to be able to search it in Earth2, I would buy /Callum Upton.
And then you link that to a single tile.
Yeah.
But if you've got...
Here's the
you'd
thing,
have to buy
FOMO.
/Callum Upton 1, Callum Upton 2, Callum Upton 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the thing with FOMO, though. They basically said that there were going to be high-value EPLs, such as /shop.
Okay.
Because everyone's going to want that,
Yeah, you're
right?
going to want, like, /Earth2 or whatever.
And the shorter your EPL is, the more you pay. Which is bizarre, but they want you... Yeah, the short EPLs are going to be the easiest to find, so therefore the most valuable.
So like /A/B/C. Okay.
So they have burnt all bridges. Like, I have never seen that community in such uproar. Because they're starting to realise, and they're questioning now. They're like, you know what, I've just noticed you're releasing more features that are pay me now and I promise you something later. So people have got these EPLs now. I can't do anything with them.
So the reason it's called Earth2 is to give the impression that it is in some way, in any way, linked to Earth, the real world. Let's just change it around. Let's just say they'd called it, I don't know, Boingland or something stupid like that.
God.
You know, oh guys, we're opening this game. It's called Boingland. What do? Oh, you buy virtual land in it. Okay, cool. What do we do then? Oh, then you can sell virtual land and build virtual buildings. Is there any kind of game? No, it's just building it. The only people playing Earth 2 are investors. People that want to, pump and dump and make money. No gamer is playing Earth 2 because it's not and never will be a game.
There's nothing to play. And so this is onto the story of how I've got 100 tiles.
Yes, do tell.
So I was watching Guidebook Gaming stream, right? And they were doing their weekly updates and whatever. And they do a land giveaway. Now, I was just in there chatting. Well, okay, I'll be honest. I was spying to listen to the update. And I accidentally typed something in their Twitch chat instead of Discord and outed myself as being there.
Of course.
So everyone's just like, oh, hey, it's Cal. And they were like, Cal, have you got into Earth 2 yet? Have you researched it from like inside? And I said, I am not paying money to research what I know is a scam.
Yeah.
So what they did is the actual hosts of the podcast were like, we will do a giveaway of some of our tiles to Cal, so Cal can get in and have a look at have a look at it, experience it. And pretty much everyone in the chat was like, I also want to throw a tile in. So I have had $100 worth of tiles thrown at me to test the game.
So the
and
cult...
I will tell you something.
Yeah. Okay, tell me.
I've played it 3 days. There's nothing to do. There literally is nothing. I go on, I click collect essence, and I go off.
And what do you do with the essence? What can it do?
Nothing. I can do nothing with the essence.
Can you not build hollow buildings?
No.
Can you not drive around in
it's a
one of those little
currency
buggies?
that you cannot spend on anything meaningful.
What about the little buggies? They gave a physics demo with a buggy, didn't they?
Yeah, they're not in because there's no terrain.
There's no actual game, is there?
No, it's still just a map.
But they're selling things on the map.
Yeah, to be able to... Right, and this is where it's kind of... It annoys me because it's quite clever. You can spend essence on certain things that you have already bought for cash. So to spend your free currency, you need to have spent real currency beforehand.
What are you spending the essence on at all?
But putting down a hollow building.
Oh, so you have to...
blueprint that you bought with real money.
So you buy virtual land in a virtual game that doesn't yet exist and doesn't have terrain. And then you can buy a blueprint for a virtual building that doesn't exist, that you can't explore, that has no physics to it.
Yeah.
And then you spend essence, which is generated through mentars that you've paid extra money to put onto your tiles, and you use the essence to build the building from the blueprint on your virtual terrain. But you can't go into like a third-person action-adventure style game where you journey around the building. You can just... Can you even see the building?
In the sense of like a one-coloured square, yeah.
Oh, so that there's a blue...
Like, you know Google
thing.
Maps when you go to 3D mode and it'll show...
yeah, and they have like boxes.
That is exactly it. They're using that feature in Mapbox.
Okay, cool. And what's the general vibe? Are people still thinking, yes, Earth 2, going to be the next internet, going to be the next big amazing thing?
Think so.
Going to be the next big... Because I really... Like, I'm not a vindictive person, but you have no idea how much I want to say I told you so.
Same.
I mean, you probably do have an idea of how much I want to say that.
Oh, I do. And opinions are changing.
Good.
There was such an uproar the other week that Shane had to get in VC with people.
Yep. Oh, do you mean the god Shane? The godlike Shane, the deity Shane.
Descended into the VC.
People are treating this guy like he's some kind of holy saviour of the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, and so he had to get in VC and address questions. And he proceeded to mock the community instead of answering their concerns. Like, this guy has thrown himself under the bus. Someone said, right, you promised us that if we bought mentors and gathered essence, we could have EPLs for essence. And then you've pulled 180 and charged us now.
Yep.
And he goes, you all seem to think that you're the chefs of the kitchen. You're not.
Oh, so people are now... He thinks that people... He thinks people are wrong for buying something with the intention for the thing to do what it was promised to do. And when the thing doesn't do the thing that it's promised to do, he's calling those people entitled and wrong and power hungry.
And then he used an example that was possibly the worst example to use. He says, does Epic Games get flack when they release a new skin in Fortnite?
No, because everyone knows exactly what that skin's going to be. You know what you're paying for.
And you get it right away. And someone said, here's the difference. They didn't say to us that we could buy it with V-Bucks, so we bought V-Bucks ahead of time, and then it comes out and they're like, you got to buy it with money, even though you've bought our digital money with money.
So, and this is coming as a shock to me, as I'm sure you're aware. A man who attempted to sell people nothing is quite sociopathic, and is quite power hungry, and is quite insulting, and is quite offensive to people. Yeah. I'm shocked, Cal.
I'm blown away as well.
I'm totally shocked. A man who with no skill attempted to sell someone a dream.
Who's never made a game,
of the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Was lying.
Yeah, and it's just insane to me because they're now starting to realise there's a bit of a revolt going on in the Discord. Like, people aren't happy.
Good.
But they're now stuck because here's the thing.
They've got all the stuff.
They've got all the stuff, and nobody wants to buy it off them.
Oh, no. Oh, so all these people that were investing in Earth 2 tiles to sell them suddenly have no one to sell them to.
Yeah, because here's the thing, Josh. Do you remember when they said that you'll be able to buy the Taj Mahal and stuff?
Oh, God, yeah, that was part of their big advertising campaign on Facebook, wasn't
it? They recently had to clarify that when the game comes out, it will be a flat piece of land with nothing on it. So you don't own the Taj Mahal.
Not even, like, bumpy terrain, just...
Very mild.
Maybe my mild bumps, but the Taj Mahal won't be there as a model.
No, because the Taj Mahal is copyrighted.
Right, so you can't actually... You couldn't even make it in a blueprint, could you?
You kind of could, but then... So this is where things are unraveling, because somebody said, oh, yeah, I know I bought Taj Mahal, and I know I've spent literally hundreds of thousands, by the way, to get Taj Mahal, and it's now not worth anything, because it's basically like, I don't know, Birmingham's, you know, the middle of Birmingham.
There's
somewhere.
no difference between the Taj Mahal and a street in, I don't know, London somewhere.
And someone says, yeah, but you can just now use, like, blueprints to build a hollow building of the Taj Mahal. And someone's like, but isn't that still copyrighted?
Yeah.
And this is the thing. They don't know what they're doing.
Also, let's imagine that you can use blueprints to build the Taj Mahal.
Yep. You can do that anywhere.
Just do it anywhere.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. You know how people are saying, oh, but people will buy my tiles because they aren't these other tiles? Well, now every tile's the same.
Once there's no difference between them.
Yeah.
There's no reason. The reason the Taj Mahal is valuable in real life is because it's next to... Is it the Ganges River?
Yeah, I think
I'm pretty sure it's next. It's a major river. I'm pretty sure it's the Ganges, and that's why it was so valuable, because it was a trade route.
Yeah.
Most major things are by rivers because that's what old transportation used to be. You know, you look at Cairo, you look at London, you look at New York. They're next to major transportation hubs because they had value in moving things around. When things are digital, and you've got no reason to move things around, the most valuable land is anywhere.
So this is where it gets a bit comical. So remember, people were like, people will buy my tiles because they are X location or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Well, there's now billions of tiles that are unpurchased, that people are now coming into the game and realizing, I could just buy that.
Yeah, just buy something in the middle of Greenland somewhere and build something on it, and my friends will come and visit me, and it'll be a fun £10 to spend. Don't spend money on the thing, by the way.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, it'd be a fun 10 quid to spend, and then they can pop off. And if someone says, oh man, I wish I could visit the Taj Mahal, not a problem. I can buy the blueprint for a tenner.
Come to the middle of Manchester, I'll show you it.
Yeah, pop over to Las Vegas. You know what, if it was anything like it, the most valuable land would be in Las Vegas, because people would just stick everything there.
Yeah. And I think this is where it's really going to start to fall apart, because the smoke and mirrors are just disappearing now. Because they're definitely getting pressed by, like, legal...
Oh, can you imagine when someone emails Disney and says, hey, I bought you in Earth 2, why aren't you there?
Yeah. Well, community members are now coming out from, like, legal backgrounds, and they're saying, hey, this thing you've done... That's not right. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's super illegal.
And like they're saying that this bit annoyed me because I saw straight through it. So you know these EPLs that you have to buy?
Yes.
You have to renew them yearly.
You have to renew an in-game
subdomain
link to a website, a subdomain.
Well, a page essentially, yeah. And they're saying it's because they have to renew them themselves.
No,
I'm sat there thinking, no, you don't.
No, you don't. If you own Earth 2 dot whatever, you can own Earth 2 dot whatever afterwards.
Yeah, because it's not an actual subdomain. It's a page on the main domain.
So people are paying real money to
renew a non-real website.
To rent a connection website to a...
Now, can I just point this out? Without an EPL, you already own a page. That long string of things is a page that you own.
Yeah.
You're just renaming the page.
You don't need to rename it. I mean, I didn't rename my Discord for ages. I finally renamed it to .gg/JSH. Yeah. But you don't need to rename things. You know, in any YouTube link or YouTube video description, you just have a long link of stuff. Just use a bit.ly link.
Yeah.
What?
It's insane, isn't it?
Okay, so... hopefully the community are starting to wake up and realise Earth 2 is a project to map the entire Earth, despite the fact you can't map a sphere onto a flat plane. It's physically impossible to do. And then they're selling tiles, and then they're selling generators on those tiles. Mentars, what they're called.
Yeah.
So you're effectively buying like a generator, and the generator...
if you want it to be faster, you buy gems.
Oh yeah, because there was a gem thing, wasn't there? Because tiles generate gems, and you click on the gems to get them.
Well, here's the thing, though. The gems don't generate essence. It'll double, it'll increase all your production from the Mentor except for Essence. Now you might be thinking, what else is it producing?
Yeah, what else does the Mentor make? Oh, wasn't it meant to make resources?
Yeah, but they're not in the game yet, which was actually what you were meant to use to build the Mentor. But it's catch-22 because none of the things exist to make the thing that needs to exist to make that.
So you buy a mine in Earth 2, and there were several different resources, weren't there? Like, water and salt water.
I'll bring mine up. I've got a lot of resources that I can't harvest.
Yeah, there were a load of resources in the game. It's almost like imagine Age of Empires style. You had your resources and they built stuff, and you were meant to generate more resources based on the tile you own. So if you own some grassland in the middle of somewhere, you'd generate. Yeah. You'd have more soil, and you'd have bugs and insects, and you generate wood if you owned a forest and stuff like that. And now you generate resources, but you can't spend resources on anything. You can only spend real money on stuff. Yeah. Or essence, which is generated through buying mentors with real money and putting them on things. And gems, gems were these other things that you could click on and get, but not like in an action click on and get way. It was just if you had a tile, you happen to have a gem, it's there. And you can put gems in things. They're almost like runes that enhance a feature, but the features they enhance aren't in the game yet.
Yeah, so I've just posted a screenshot in my chat, and I'll actually drop it to you, Josh, as well.
Yeah, sure. I won't be able to change it on the Discord right now until later, because that'll change the thing on the podcast. Got you.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so on my in Callum Upton's Scam Cave, which is my tile somewhere in Gibraltar, I can get fresh water, sand, limestone, iron ore, wood, coal, oil, and gold.
Yep.
And it says below, values currently not available, because the things are not available.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people are fighting over specific tiles because some might have more gold than others.
Yeah.
But they're completely speculating on real-world gold locations, which it's not going to be based off of.
So some poor sod somewhere is going to buy a real gold mine in the middle of, Nigeria somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they're going to buy, using real money, a mentor to put on the gold mine to generate resources. And then they're going to spend real money to buy the subdomain of it and change it to /gold, which they have to renew every year. And there is still nothing to do with the gold that doesn't yet exist in the game.
Yeah, and there might not even be gold on that tile.
No, there might not be. We have no confirmation of that whatsoever.
It's insane to me.
And there's
I promised the Guidebook Gaming people that I would go on this daily and do the daily actions, which is literally one click.
Yep.
And that after a month, I would give my honest opinion on it. But honest, I can tell you right now, my opinion hasn't changed. If anything, I'm more concerned at the fact that there is, the only action that you can do on this, you can bot with a Python script and 2 lines of code. So you don't even have to play the game.
I'm hesitant to call this a scam when I think a more appropriate word right now is a cult.
Yeah.
I really do think Earth 2 is developing into a cult.
Again, we spoke about pump and dumps last time.
Yeah.
This is a big pump and dump. People are putting large amounts of money into this, knowing that if more people put large amounts of money into this, they will, they'll make money. But the catch here is, until all the tiles have been sold, the dump can't happen. You can't sell something for £7 when you can go and buy it for 50 pence elsewhere. And it is, for all intents and purposes, identical.
Yeah, the people that want to sell their tiles, because their tile value has risen to £100 each, they are not selling those tiles to other people who currently own tiles, because the other people who currently own them want to buy the cheap ones and sell them off. They're not selling them to new people coming into the game, I say game, the system, because they'll just buy cheaper tiles. Once every single tile has been sold in the system and people suddenly say, hey, who wants to come into this system? You know what the smartest thing to do would be? Earth 3. Once every single tile in this system has been sold, unless you're actually... Because they've said they want to recreate the Matrix. They said they want to recreate the Oasis from Ready Player One. The only aspect, and that's not me using hyperbole, that's actually what they've used in their marketing. They've said the Oasis from Ready Player One and the Matrix. Yeah. The only thing they've got so far in common with the Oasis and the Matrix is the fact that it's pure fiction.
Yeah. They've got nothing going for them, and this is they're running out of steam because they need to keep hype up. But now that their hype men are questioning them, they're actually starting to panic. Like they're not going to let you know they are, but they have to be.
They're saying, "What do you do in this game? What is there to actually do?" Let's say that a gamer wants to get involved in Earth 2, not an investment person, an actual gamer. What do you do? There's nothing. There's nothing in this system.
There is absolute nothing. Like, I'm sat on here scrolling around Scam City, which is where one of my tiles is. I can't do anything. I can click on a tile next to me and see that, Earth 2 Meta owns that.
Matt's just put in the chat, hang on, weren't the Oasis and the Matrix a bad thing? And yeah, when you think about it, both the Oasis, this whole overwhelming, dominating control of life, and the Matrix the film The Matrix wasn't about the Matrix. The film The Matrix was about people breaking out of the Matrix.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be there.
No, exactly. And here's the thing, and I've spoke to a lot of game developers about this. They're even failing at the minimal thing that they have done right now. Let's say that this right now isn't a game. This is an economic simulator.
Yes, the investment opportunity.
They have still failed. They are taking their sweet time in releasing things in the wrong order that don't make any sense to what, towards the end goal. And they're just generally offering nothing. A lot of people will refer to Decentraland. For all intents and purposes, that is a game.
Yeah, you can play
There's something
there.
But there's just nothing here at all.
Because it didn't... And this is... When you buy... Because with Earth 2, one of the really clever things they've done is you don't just rock up and buy a tile for 10 quid. What you have to do is you have to spend your £10 to buy a special proprietary token from them called E-dollars. You change your money into E-dollars. And then you use E-dollars to buy the tile of land in the game. And when you sell your tile of land to somebody else, you sell it for E-dollars. So they buy it off you for 50 E-dollars, and you now have 50 E-dollars in your account. When you cash out, you don't cash out at a one-to-one basis. You actually get taxed and charged for cashing out. So if I give them £10, I get 10 E-dollars, one-to-one exchange rate. If I want to cash out 50 E-dollars, there is was it a $7.50 charge every cash out?
Something like that.
There is a charge every time.
It gets worse than that as well. Because I pointed something out in my second Earth 2 video, and I've not said anything publicly about it yet because I know that people are really looking into this seriously.
Yeah, definitely.
They're doing something dodgy with tax, and I'll tell you why. You know when people have shown off their they've received a payout, like, hey, I actually got the payout. And other people are struggling to get payouts. Have you noticed that they show up as a refund at the bottom of their invoice?
They do. When Earth 2 pays you, it counts as refunding you.
But not always. And have you heard some people say, I can cash out small sums, but I can never cash out everything? Here's why. Imagine I'm Earth 2, right? And you put £100 into Earth 2. And then you make, you do some trades, you've got 150. They want you to cash 100 out so it can be done as a refund for the exact amount, meaning they don't pay tax on that. But they've still made money off the money that's been made off of that. Now, then, if you take your remaining 50 out, it's not listed as a refund. But they kept saying early on, oh, if your cash out's been refused, try a smaller amount. And then they kept saying, try even smaller than that, even smaller. You can get it, they will put it as a refund up until matching the amount you put in.
Which means
it's not a refund.
Which means the amount of tax they are then paying on that can be written off as a business expense.
Significantly less.
And then when they actually pay out...
Essentially, everything is then a tax write-off. Because think, everything that comes in can go out. They wouldn't be paying tax on any of that.
And if you pay £1,000 into the system and you get 1,000 E-dollars and you buy 1,000 E-dollars worth of land, and then the company decide to, stop selling it and the thing quietens down and no one wants to bed there, and you're there thinking, right, I want to cash out, I want to get my money back. You can't just sell your land tiles back to the company. You can't unlock the equity in the tiles you own. You need someone to buy your tiles off you for e-dollars to make them kind of floating liquid e-dollars, if you will, which you then cash out. If no one is coming into the system to buy your tiles, if the money and the value remains in the tile, you can't get it back out. And there is no company in the world who's going to think that you are legally owed e-dollars, because as far as they care, the legal value of an e-dollar is zero.
Yeah, it's a gift card.
It's like buying a premium currency in a mobile game. If you buy $100 of premium currency in a mobile game and then that mobile game goes bankrupt or goes bust or stops being the game you enjoy, you can't say, hey, I want my $100 back, because it counts as a proprietary currency you bought in their system.
Yep.
What's going to happen with this, Cal? Where's it going to go? Where's the logical reason? Is it going to become this next big, massive, world-changing, world-dominating thing?
No, I genuinely think as soon as the taxman comes to do, like, checking the books, I think they're going to go... Yeah. They're going to go bump. Because they've currently got... You referred to it as Isaac's box.
An Isaac's box. Shane Isaac is the guy that made it. So I call it an Isaac's box because they buy money in the system and they can't cash out the system.
Yeah. That's going to come back and bite them in the ass.
Yeah.
It has to. It can't happen any other way, because they've got crypto involved. They've got digital currencies that's tethered to an actual thing, which makes it a security. And there's so many places this could fail. Yeah. But I think that will be it. So it is almost tax avoidance.
Yeah. One of the things that people tend to forget is that the reason real-world land is valuable is because it's limited. There's only a certain amount of real-world land. The reason the reason virtual land in Earth 2 is valuable is because people want it. As soon as people stop wanting it, it stops having any purpose. Its only purpose is to generate interest in it. It exists to make it, desirable. As soon as it stops becoming desirable, then people stop wanting it. So let's say that, Earth 3 or Earth Next or Earth Squared released or something like that. You then have the issue of, well, the desire for Earth 2 land suddenly stops, suddenly goes down, so it has no value. Real-world land has value because it's limited. You can create as many virtual worlds as you want and sell land in them. It's just about the interest.
I can see what's going to happen with this. So they can only really make big money by selling their initial tiles, right?
Yeah.
Every other bit of money is just going between people. When they run out of tiles, their cash flow dips because no one's buying off them. They'll just make Mars too. And I know you think I'm joking, but it will be... That's what they'll do. It will now become, oh, we're building a one-to-one replica of the solar system.
Yeah.
And then they'll sell it all out on Mars, then on Jupiter. And they'll be like... It's a train that has to keep moving. It's...
Last time I checked, solar system's quite big. So you're probably not going to run out of space to sell that anytime soon. You probably sell every single planet, every single star in a massive solar system and have millions and millions and millions left over.
And they'll make it sound like a good thing, won't they? Oh, like you can get platinum if you do on the moon or something, and it'll just be...
Yeah, by the way, guys, those websites that sell you stars that you can buy, you own that star, you're named after that star, you can buy a plot of land on the moon and you name it, they're the original NFTs.
Yeah.
You don't own that.
My sister got so angry with me over that.
Yeah, there was a company
bought her a star, and I told her, I was like, you do know that another company is selling that same star? And she's like, but they can't. I was like, you don't own a star. Yeah, you
don't own it. Oh, you own a small plot of land on the moon. Okay, under whose authority?
Yeah.
Who is actually saying that you own that at all? Because as soon as anyone rocks up with any kind of military force, they own it. That's pretty much how the original concept of ownership started.
Ground.
Yeah, it is. You don't think that there aren't scientists, stargazing, going, oh, I can see Laura 4825 is going to crash into Henry 187. They just name them random numbers.
Yeah.
That's how they name stars. No one. And this is NFTs we were talking about last week. People sell you the digital rights to something despite not having the rights to actually sell. That's exactly what they do with stars. If you buy the rights to a star, you don't own that. Because the person selling it doesn't own it.
Do you know what? This reminds me of something that I was going to talk to some of the mods in my Discord about. Yeah. I want to make a Kickstarter scam that I will obviously cancel before, pledges get taken or anything. Just to show...
Yep, I'm already in. Okay.
the stupidity that you can post out there, that like the outlandish claims you can make, and people won't question them. They will just buy into it. And the good thing with us doing it as like an experiment through Kickstarter is the money isn't given to us right away. You know, like we can cancel it before the pledges end. But
do people get their money back if you cancel?
Yeah, their money doesn't get taken unless one, it meets the goal.
All right, cool.
And two, once the time has ended.
Interesting.
So we can run it for 28 days out of the 30 and just cancel it.
Brilliant. I'm already in. Yeah, just as long as the backer reward can be a full-size cardboard cutout of you and me.
Yes.
Together. That'd be great.
That's what we're going to do.
So when we were talking about, people in the chat have been putting about the idea of the plot of land in Scotland to become a lord. Right, that's a more complicated one. So Scotland, you've probably heard of Sealand before, where you can buy the Principality of Sealand to become a lord or a mayor or a thing like that. For anyone who's not sure, there is an oil rig off the coast of England which declared independence a couple of years ago. And they declared independence as the Principality of Sealand. And their money has Pokemon on it. It's just a thing they wanted to do. The Principality of Sealand is not an independent country. It is a principality, and it's very, very, very different. You can go to sealand.org, I think it is, and you can buy yourself a title, like a prince, a knight, a lord, a whatever. Those titles are recognised in Sealand. They are not recognised anywhere else.
You're right. It's I'll drop a link in the chat. It's sealandgov.org.
Yep. You can go. Can't Game Freak sue? Yeah, they could try, but they'd have to sue the Principality of Sealand, which might not be worth their time. So, Sealand is a massive joke. I'm not saying it's like stupid. I'm saying it's funny, and people are buying titles and assuming that they count anywhere else. They don't. You know, I could start my own principality and call myself Lord of it, and then no one else would have to respect that. I can't put that on like letters and stuff. That's not how it works.
It's just a title that you've given yourself, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, this Sealand links in a strange way, in a bit of a tangent, to martial arts. And when I was shocked when I first learnt this. I used to teach martial arts. That was one of my jobs for a long, long time. And one day I was sitting down and I was talking to my instructor, and I said, "Who governs martial arts? Like, what's the hierarchy?" And they say, well, there's various governing bodies, and you've got the UK Federation and the English Federation, and you've got the groups of this, and you've got various governing bodies. And I said, okay, what would happen if? How do you start a martial art? Like, how do you start one? And my instructor said, you just start one. You just say you've got one. If you wanted to rent out a village hall right now and teach the first lesson of Callum Fu, and declare yourself Lord High Grand Master in Callum Fu, that's legal.
Scientology, without going too much into it.
Yeah,
just
straight up.
Created out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's a thing now.
You can create a lot of stuff and say that you are the world champion in it. And you're not actually lying. So if
you're the only person in it.
Yeah, if I wanted to start my own martial art and declare myself World Grandmaster, I could do. Now, other governing bodies might not take me seriously, unless I happen to be close friends with the governing body, board of directors, and say, hey, here's £1,000 each. Maybe you could say that Josh Fu is a real thing. And they say, yeah, it's a real thing. You're the only person practicing it. You can't teach it. Cool, I'm now a world champion. That's how it works. You want to buy yourself a Principality of Sealand title? Go for it. Don't expect it to work anywhere else.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, isn't it? That a lot of people think these are governed things that have
Josh Strike Hayes.
Josh Strike Hayes versus Callum Fu.
I love it.
That's awesome.
That's brilliant. Is Josh getting tired? Ristrate, I am. It's been a long day for me. It's been a really long day for me at this point. We've had the Bloff boarded. I've been watching those catch-up films all day. In fact, this is something I wanted to chat to you about, Cal. And I want the chat involved in this as well.
Yeah.
I want to get really, really fit. Because, like, before the whole YouTube thing, the aspiration was to be an actor, and the aspiration was to be a model and a performer, and I think the model I could probably still do.
Yeah.
Now, I want to have a set breakfast, and a set lunch, and a set workout routine, and I think within, like, 6 months, I want to get absolutely ripped. That's the plan.
I'm the same, believe it or not. I've started buying weights and
Good.
like yoga mats and all that sort of stuff ready for, not to do yoga on, obviously, just to do weight stuff. But
Yeah.
I want to as well.
Yeah. So
before COVID, I was in okay shape.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like...
Exactly. So what I think we need is we really need accountability.
Yeah.
And I can't think of anything, more accountable than tens of thousands of people that are going to watch YouTube or Twitch over the coming weeks and months.
That's true.
So what I'm going to do is I wanted, by the way, guys, I really wanted to post workout videos and progress videos on my YouTube channel. It's algorithm destruction. Like, as soon as I put anything to do with fitness up, I just get absolutely wrecked. The algorithm tanks my channel because it wants MMO stuff, not fitness stuff.
Yeah.
So we can't do that.
Exactly why we haven't put the podcasts on our channels. Which, by the way, if people aren't aware, these podcasts are now on our YouTube, which I will get a link to.
We have the Tangent Tavern. If you just type in Tangent Tavern on YouTube, it should bring it up. People have said start a second channel. I don't have time. I work 6 days a week on this channel.
If you're going to upload a video, you want it to be one of your weekly videos.
Yeah, I work 6 days a week on this channel. It's like when people say, oh, just start a second channel. This channel is my entire job. It'd be almost like saying
a second job.
Yeah, it'd like say, hey, you work at McDonald's 40 hours a week? Oh, cool, just get a second job working 40 hours a week. Wouldn't work. I literally I have the time to do the workout. I don't have the time to make the workout into content.
Yeah. Because again, editing videos.
Yeah, set the camera up, set it on, go there, put it up, make it. I would be spending an hour working out and 8 hours making it into a video. But we probably can do pictures.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this, in 6 months' time, I'll probably post about this on Twitter. I might even make a single YouTube video about it. I'm going to give myself 6 months. And then what I'll do is I'll post a posing pic of how I look then compared to how I look now. But I'm not going to post the now pic now. I'm going to post the now pic in like 6 months minus a day. And then the next day, this is what I've done. Because I want people to be able to say this is what you look like now. Yeah,
no, that's actually a really good idea. I'm down for that. Someone says make a Josh Strife Gains channel.
Okay. I think that 6 months is a good time period to give ourselves. What do you think, Cal?
Yeah. I'm down for a 6 month challenge.
Everyone in the chat right now, this is the first you've heard of it. 6 months.
Yeah.
6 month body transformation.
Sounds like fun. He'll make me actually do something.
It is. And we'll support everyone through it. 6 months. Because fitness is a really big thing for me. If I didn't have an MMO channel, I'd have a fitness channel. That's what I'd go with. Yeah. What would you go with, Cal, if you weren't doing like scams?
Tech.
Yeah,
I'd definitely be into tech. Like I do a lot of messing around with Raspberry Pis, wiring, up
you can
ridiculous things.
You can probably transition your channel really nicely into something like that, actually, because
I'd like to include it.
Yeah, the audience is definitely there.
I actually had an idea of making a physical bot for RuneScape. One that actually presses keys on your keyboard.
Okay.
Will move the mouse left and right to the coordinates on the screen.
That would be amazing.
The thing is, the time... I know that would be like a high view video because it's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But the time it would take to do that is astronomical.
Yeah, it would take
it's
so long.
It's not just wiring, it's programming, it's robotics as well.
There's an Australian YouTube channel called I Made a Thing, or I Did a Thing.
I know the channel, yeah.
Brilliant channel. Love that guy's stuff so much. Yeah, so we can definitely get that going. But for now, so 6 months, you and me are going to be fit. Everyone else everyone in the stream, we've both got Discords. So
yeah, we'll make a fitness journey channel.
Yeah.
And we'll do that, and
join
people
us,
can join along for it.
Join us together, and we will get super duper ridiculously ripped together. But for now, it's been 2.5 hours, and we've gone off on a bit of a tangent.
Really?
Yeah, we started talking about RuneScape. We got into Earth 2. Crypto was there. Finance and the unfairness of the world. I promise, if you're in these streams more often, we will eventually talk about more subjects.
Yes, we definitely will. We've got. And here's the thing: when we get our guests on. We're going to have a much more structured beforehand. Well, not much more, but we'll have topics that we'll
be able to talk about crypto with guests, or finance with guests, or Earth
and I'll be able to get proper tips on building IKEA furniture from guests.
Exactly. It'll be the same stream, just with other people involved.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the first guest? I really hope Kira TV. In fact, I'll probably message him like now and be like, "Hey, Kira, come and hang out with us."
I saw him post in his Discord that he'd be down to hop on.
Oh, good. Yeah, he
When
sounds...
somebody was like, "Yo, are you going to come on the podcast?" Someone mentioned it, and I think he did say that he'd be down for it.
Oh, yeah, Kira's sound. We all like Kira.
Yes.
Everyone likes Kira TV.
We love Kira.
Right, for now, guys, Cal, thank you as always for talking to me. It's been fun.
Thank you very much. It has been a blast.
Thank you in the chat for joining us. This will be on YouTube in probably a couple of days' time to fit in with Twitch's rules on re-uploading stuff.
Yeah, after 24 hours, that's a guarantee.
Twitch has a rule. Jagex Shogun says he will help you in person to build furniture. It's in your blood. Yeah, Shogun was born in an IKEA.
Really?
Yeah. No, Shogun, you're from... he's from Sweden, isn't he? So they had to burn it all the way through. But now, guys, thank you very much for joining us. If you're from Callum Stream, thank you as well.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody.
And we will see you...
Day is it? Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Cal will be on tomorrow, and I'll be streaming on Wednesday. So, thank you very much for joining us. Take care.
Yeah.
Good night, and God bless. Take care, Cal.
Have a good one, people. See ya.